With the State Fair of Texas as our background, Texas and Oklahoma are ready to meet for the 104th time. Bob Stoops and the Sooners know how much a win today would right their season. His quarterback, Sam Bradford, missed 34 days with a separated shoulder, but he's back. Mac Brown has beaten Oklahoma 3 of the last 4 years. His quarterback, Colt McCoy, will be starting his 4th game in the Red River rivalry. There's always something to this one. From season to season, the details change, but there's always an angle, like a #1 ranking or title hopes on the line. The headline this time is Longhorns Seek Justice. They beat the Sooners last year, then watched their rivals soak up all the glory. But those kind of stories come and go, part of the news cycle. Like leaves, they flare up and then fall off the tree. Now, pride, on the other hand, is permanent, always at stake, no matter the standings or state of affairs. Oklahoma, Texas, it matters for bragging rights, year after year after year. You are looking live at one of the great scenes in all of college football. The intensity of the Red River rivalry, ready to explode on college football here on ABC. The BCS stakes sky high for Texas. The Longhorns are focused on a national championship. And Oklahoma can salvage its season, beginning with an upset win over their rival. Right now, let's go down below to Chris Fowler and the gang. Chris?
Brent, thank you. You're right. This place has been filled for 45 minutes. And Colt McCoy, runner-up in the Heisman a year ago, on the winning side, 2 of his 3 starts against Oklahoma. Last season's Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, Sam Bradford, back in the mix. Big game against Baylor, big game a year ago against Texas, 5 touchdown passes, but it wasn't enough. He is hungry today. Never in the history of this great rivalry have 2 coaches squared off for 11 times until today. Bob Stoops a 6'4" edge over Mac Brown, but Texas has won 3 of the last 4. So much at stake in this mid-season bowl game. Not even guys like Bradford and McCoy are immune from feeling the nerves, the electricity inside this place. Which offense can make the fewest turnovers because the other side is so good at cashing in? Both times hurt by penalties coming into this game. Which side can maintain its poise and still make plays big enough to win this game? Lee? There's a lot on the line, a lot of subplots. Break it down for us.
Well, I think Texas has beaten Oklahoma 3 out of 4 years, and they've done it by scoring. Oklahoma has allowed Texas 34 points on average. That in special teams is why I'm picking Texas. Their special teams is also very important.
I think we're all excited to finally see not only these 2 teams go head-to-head, but these 2 quarterbacks go head-to-head after everything that happened last year. Bradford coming back last week against Baylor, knocking off the rust, getting his confidence back. There's a few things that separate him. His decision-making and his pinpoint accuracy are amazing. How about his anticipation and ability to make a throw and the chemistry that he has with his wide receivers, and his footwork is flawless. That's why the NFL loves Sam Bradford. And then there's Colt McCoy, Mr. Everything for Texas. Of course, he has that same accuracy, the ability to make any throw on the field. Really, really strong arm from the number 12 in burnt orange. And the last thing, everybody likes to call it the it factor. Bradford makes plays and is always the catalyst for this Texas offense.
Bradford's been nicked up. Many feel McCoy has been pressing. Which quarterback can rise up and produce a signature performance, a winning performance today in the latest edition of the Red River rivalry? Kirk will head upstairs to join Brent Musburger and Lisa Salters. Kickoff coming up soon after this message from your ABC stations.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by Nissan Maxima, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy.
We welcome you back to the Cotton Bowl and Big Tex. Another important stop along the drive to the national championship. This tradition began back in 1929. Norman, Oklahoma, and Austin, Texas. There's nothing like coming to the Cotton Bowl for this game, getting yourself a Fletcher corny dog and a mug of beer at 9 a.m. Mac Brown is down below with Lisa Salters, so let's go to Lisa.
Thanks, Brent. Mac, you've said all week long that this is not a revenge game, but given that Oklahoma went on to the national championship last season and Texas didn't, if a little payback isn't on your mind today, well, what is?
Well, Lisa, we really recognized at the end if we'd beaten Tech, it would have been out of the system and we'd have gone to the national championship game. So it's really on us, not Oklahoma.
Now, what were the final words that you had for your players in the locker room before they ran out here on the field?
It's a young man here in Dallas that got hurt in a football practice last spring. He's a sophomore named Corey Bonner. He's in a wheelchair now, and our thoughts and prayers with him, but he left this with us last night, and it said find a way. So if Corey can find a way to get out of that chair and walk again, we can sure find a way to win this game.
All right, thank you, Mac.
Thanks, Lisa.
Brent?
Lisa, thank you. So here is the counterpart on the other side, getting mic'd up. Bob Stoops, hard to believe, but he's only 49 years old. At one time, he was 5-0 in the Red River rivalry, but he's lost 3 of the last 4. And a year ago in a wild shootout, 80 points were scored. The Longhorns finally prevailed, 45-35. Mac Brown and Texas won the coin toss and deferred. That means that Sam Bradford and Oklahoma will begin on offense. Justin Tucker to kick it off for the Horns. Dominic Franks and Moses Madu back deep. This is Madu from the goal line. Short of the 20-yard line. Well, Kirk, here comes Sam Bradford for his first series in this game. He had 11 dropped passes last week, but he was still 27 of 49 against Baylor.
That's a great point. He had some drops, but the most important thing is just getting number 14 back out on the field for Oklahoma. I think his presence creates a lot of confidence. And also, Brent, as you know, the tempo goes up another notch because of his understanding of this offense. They'll get to the line very fast today.
Stoops hoping that DeMarco Murray, number 7, has a big game. They flare him on first down. That was in the script. And Murray squirts across for a first down on the opening sequence. Not only can he run, but he can catch those short passes. And with a young, inexperienced offensive line, look for that short passing game to be the Sooners' running game here today. Move Murray to the left side. Stack 3 wide receivers to the left. Bradford's second pass under pressure, had to throw behind Caleb, incomplete, second down and 10. Coming hard was Lamar Houston.
There's the concern for Oklahoma, the pass protection. Houston's really having a big year for Texas. And what Will Muschamp wants to see is not just sacks, but what he likes to call affecting the quarterback with hurries and hitting him after he throws.
Back it down.
Backfield emptied out. Third consecutive pass play. Incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and 10 against Muschamp's defense.
This is the down and distance that Oklahoma wanted to avoid, and it's what Texas wants because this is where they feel they have a huge advantage in coming after Sam Bradford with pressure against this offensive line, yet to build the continuity.
Getting the play from the sideline. Kevin Wilson calling it up above. Late adjustment in the secondary. Drop it off in underneath for a first down on 3rd and 10. DeMarco Murray still moving. Cross midfield on a cutback. 1 man to beat. Heads for the end zone. Tripped up at the 7-yard line. A brilliant play call by the Sooners.
Great job there by Kevin Wilson. Quick throw here, third down, wait for the pressure to come and then dump it right where the linebackers were. They get it to their playmaker, DeMarco Murray, who they want to get about 25 touches, running and catching the ball. He's the difference maker for the Sooners.
A straight handoff to Brown, who replaces him, pounding to the 8-yard line.
Chris Brown, nice change of pace to what DeMarco Murray can bring. He is a very experienced, durable back. Oklahoma loves to throw the ball to the slot receiver. In this case, at the top, it's Ryan Broyles.
Second down and goal from the red zone. Firing in zone. Incomplete. Out of bounds. Going deep to Broyles, who was playing despite that shoulder he injured against Miami.
You can see last year when they had all the weapons in the big offensive line at Jermaine Gresham, how they ranked when they get down into this area. Struggling a bit this year, trying to replace Gresham, and Bradford's been out so much of this year.
Brown, the running back, alongside. On third and goal. Bradford to the middle, incomplete. And that'll probably bring Jimmy Stevens out as the Longhorn defense holds after that 65-yard catch and run by DeMarco Murray.
If you look at from the eyes of Sam Bradford, he doesn't have anybody open and makes a good decision just to throw this ball away where nobody can make the catch. But a good opening drive for Oklahoma if they can come away with points here.
Carter Whitson will be the holder. Off the upright, but it's still good. It ricochets across. It struck the left upright and ricocheted inside the right. Texas has to feel real good about holding Oklahoma to just a field goal on that adventure. The first series of the game, and Jimmy Stevens puts the Sooners up. Well, the Cotton Bowl was a new stadium back in 1930. That was a year after this rivalry started being played in Dallas. 104th time they have met, and Herbie, you could not have dialed up more perfect weather than we have right now. And Oklahoma ready to kick it off. On the ground, out of Shipley's hands that way. 30, 35. It'll be run out of bounds at the 40-yard line. So we early see some of Stoops' strategy. Remember, a year ago, Oklahoma had a lot of trouble defending kickoffs, not just against the Horns, but some other teams. And we see what Bob's going to try to do here today.
Absolutely. It's fun to see this game. Last year, we had so many great memories back and forth, and we're wondering, is this going to be a low-scoring game? And right out of the gate, Oklahoma goes 78 yards in a hurry and gets 3 points. And now here comes Colt McCoy, the runner-up in the Heisman Trophy a year ago.
Fozzie Whitaker gets the cutback run on first down. Greg Davis determined to try to run, and Fozzie Whitaker delivers on the first play of the game and then smashes into a teammate over there on the sideline. That was Earl Thomas, I believe, who went down, and we hope he was not shaken up.
I think they're going to get
this has kind of come back, huh?
No, it's 15 more yards, I think, for a late hit by Oklahoma.
You're right. Personal foul.
Yeah. Keenan Clayton came in there a little bit late with a push, and these officials are trying to make sure they take control of this rivalry game early. Fozzie Whitaker, by the way, can run the football for Texas, and it's the push right there where he's out of bounds. Beal initially got him out. 44 pushes him, he's out, and then Clayton trying to finish the play, knocks him out of bounds, and it'll be 15 yards tagged on top.
So that makes it, Herbie, total 31-yard gain, and this, as I said, that was Earl Thomas down, and he's being tended to. He is a starting safety and a very vital member of that defense. We've got to keep an eye on that story. Lisa will jump to that. And they come right back. Gerald McCoy, one of the Nagurski candidates, along with Beal, great defensive lineman, makes that stop.
A big battle up front will be Texas's offensive line. It's been struggling a bit establishing the run against a big Oklahoma talented defensive line. Oklahoma needs to be able to win that battle and get pressure with Gerald McCoy and their front four, especially in containing and corralling Colt McCoy.
Thomas is sitting up now along the sideline, still being tended to by the medical staff. Second down and 12. Show linebacker blitz. They've got McCoy. That's a fumble. Scooped up. That was Ryan Reynolds who came in as Austin English knocked it out. Ryan Reynolds, who was injured for the season a year ago in this game. But watch Mr. English.
Some confusion up front. The tight end released. Probably should have stayed in there because the offensive line was sliding to their right. There was some confusion up front, and it made it very easy for Austin English, a senior, to lower the boom on Colt McCoy.
From their own 48-yard line, English being congratulated for forcing their first turnover of this Red River rivalry. And there, out of the gun, Bradford is sacked on first down. That is Aaron Williams coming off the corner. And he's hurt again. That's that shoulder. His throwing shoulder. Remember, he missed 34 days, 3 games, returned only a week ago, lost 14, and Landry Jones will have to replace him, at least for the time being. There is number 12 getting ready.
Identical play in what happened against BYU to Sam Bradford, where he feels pressure, tries to avoid the pressure, trying to roll around to his right. He collapses, and then all of his weight comes down on his right shoulder. You can see by his reaction that he almost feel, you can just see the energy of him saying, oh no, not again.
A heartbreaking moment for Bradford and the millions of Oklahoma fans as you see Williams come off that corner and all the weight coming down on that right shoulder.
The gutsy call there by Will Muschamp, bringing the blitz. An aggressive play brings his corner, Aaron Williams. He gets in clean. You just hate to see number 14 for Oklahoma have to go down. Landry Jones' experience that he has gained in the last 3 or 4 weeks is very, very important to this Oklahoma offense, feeling confident in what Landry brings to the offense.
His first play for the gun, he's going to throw it high, incomplete. A third down, and depression has to have taken hold over on that Oklahoma sideline. Already, of course, they played without Bradford for 3 games, losing one of them down at Miami. Bradford was knocked out of the BYU game. They lost that one by a point. Landry Jones, who was a very highly rated young quarterback coming out of New Mexico, we'll see what he can do to rally the troops here on 3rd and 24. He'll swing it. And DeMarco Murray is run out of bounds before he can get back to the original line of scrimmage. So the Sooners, after the first turnover of the game, are forced to punt. And the Horns have survived that fumble, and Bradford being tended to on the sideline.
That could be as much, it could be more devastating emotionally for Oklahoma to see Bradford down than what they necessarily lose with Landry Jones coming in to throw. Don't get me wrong, Sam Bradford's a great player, but Landry Jones can throw the football.
A difference maker has just trotted out to the field. Jordan Shipley, Tressway, strong punter, and there was pressure on him. Fair catch is signaled for at the 22. Half of the stadium wants a flag. The other half said great coverage. And everyone hopes for the best for young Bradford.
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by Chevy, Bud Light. With the just right taste that's not too heavy, not too light. The difference is drinkability. And AT&T, your world delivered.
There is just nothing like a Fletcher's Corny Dog and a mug of beer about 9 a.m. and come on in. Not that I did that today. You know,
Dog and a mug of beer.
Meanwhile, young Bradford was over there.
Yeah.
Stretching that shoulder, got up off the bench. And Colt McCoy, who fumbled, handing off. Here's Whitaker getting to that edge again. And meanwhile, I want to pass on that Earl Thomas did come back out for the Longhorns defense. Remember, he was shaken up on Whitaker's run over the sideline with the penalty flag. I do want to report we had so many things happen revolving around Sam Bradford that we missed that story, but he was back out there, Herbert.
And it's so important, as you talked about. He is a leader in the secondary and such an important part. Big interception last week against Colorado to turn that game around.
Again attacking the left side with misdirection here, Herbie. A steady diet, forcing Beal to play the run over there.
What they're trying to do is when you play Bob Stoops and Brent Venables in the defensive side, they have so much talent and they're coached to be so aggressive and intimidating against the run that they're trying to give them a look one way and get them to slow down. Brent Venables attacks with his linebackers, and one of the ways to slow them down is misdirection to try to slow them down in other areas, especially the pass rush.
Childs, Kirkendall, and Buckner are McCoy's wide receivers here on this third down. Colt's going to throw for it, has great time, incomplete. Shipley, his roommate, was covered by Brian Jackson.
I thought Brent Venables told us something interesting this week. When you face Colt McCoy and this 4 wide receiver look, it's a lot like going up against, here's the coverage right here at the bottom by Brian Jackson. It's a lot like facing Texas Tech and what they do. It's about matching up. Jackson might have gotten away with a little bit with a jersey pull, but these defensive backs are locked in to this 4 wide receiver set of Texas.
John Gold out of bounds, so Dominic France does not have an opportunity to return it. And meanwhile, number 14 was throwing, has his helmet off, or I should say on, over here on the sideline. That's Josh Heupel as we look back and see how he was shaken off on a corner blitz a short time ago and going right back down on that throwing shoulder. And Landry Jones will bring the offense back out.
If we had a microphone in front of Bob Stoops and asked him how he feels right now, he would be quickly to say, of course, he feels bad for Bradford, but these coaches have a ton of confidence in Landry Jones and what he can do in this football game.
Back in the pistol offense, a shorter drop for a quarterback, and running Brown behind the right side of the OU line.
I think the challenge for Oklahoma, if Bradford in fact stays out of the game, is staying aggressive with Landry Jones coming into the game with their play calling. Here's Kevin Wilson, the offensive coordinator, right in the middle of the screen. He has got to maintain the aggressive attitude that Oklahoma brought to the table when they started this game with Bradford.
2nd down and 6. Jones throws, and at midfield, Caleb holds on.
That's just not only a completion for Landry Jones. Boy, oh boy, is that a big completion in a rivalry game. His first taste of this rivalry game here at the Cotton Bowl, to settle the nerves and be able to just execute this offense.
Stacking 3 wide to the right. They'll throw that flanker screen over there, and that's for a loss of yardage that time, and that is number 12, Earl Thomas.
These safeties for Texas and for Will Muschamp had really grown up in the last year. I can recall last year calling this game. At one point, because of injuries, they had 3 true freshmen in the secondary defending Bradford. Now with the experience, now it becomes a strength, led by number 12, Earl Thomas.
Caleb and Madu, along with Broyles, stacked to the left on 2nd down and 12. And Brown gives up another yard, and this will be 3rd and long for Oklahoma as the Longhorn defense has really tightened the vise. Kendall and Houston.
Big advantage up front with Houston and Kendall and the rest of that defensive line against this Oklahoma offensive line coming into this game, and on that play they dominated.
Middle incomplete, forced to punt again. There's a penalty. There is a late penalty drawn by Ratteree, I believe the tight end, who did an outstanding job in the hole, and Keenan Robinson took the bait. Automatic first down, bailed out.
Keenan Robinson made a huge error, and he's doing his best out there to defend. But boy, oh boy, the ball was already about to go over top of the receiver's head and land on the grass, and then he pulls on his shoulder pad right at the end of the play. I don't know if that ball was catchable. I think that's what the Oklahoma fans are reacting to.
And quickly, Landry Jones fires back over to the left, finding daylight with Cameron Kinney's first reception.
What a great block by Brandon Caleb. Actually, he's right in front of him. He's going to pick up a block on Williams. It springs him and gives him just a little bit of a lane and about 8 to 10 more yards for Kinney to pick up.
Attacking to the outside, using the pistol, coming back with the run and the contain man, forcing the running back to the 20-yard line. They pick up 2 yards. McElroy makes the stop on DeMarco Murray.
Well, Oklahoma this year, Brent, has been moving the ball pretty well until they get to about their opponent's 30-yard line, and then they start to implode with penalties and drop balls and miscues. That's been emphasized this week of finishing drives successfully.
That is Matt Clapp, the fullback, playing with a little cast on the left hand off the play fake. He picks up the attack man, and incomplete. Out of bounds is Caleb. No catch. Third down and 8. Murray to the left of Jones. In zone. Jump ball. Incomplete. Curtis Brown, the corner with coverage that time on Kinney.
Landry Jones just puts this ball up into the air and hopes that Kinney can fight and take it away from Curtis Brown. But the size of Curtis Brown at 6 feet, no problem for him to go up and bat that ball away. Jones fortunate that that ball was not intercepted.
Remember, Jimmy Stevens hit the left upright and it ricocheted across from 26 yards. This is a 37-yarder here. Slides that one in through. 6-0 OU. You're watching ESPN on ABC, home of the 2010 Rose Bowl game and the City BCS Championship game. MetLife providing these dramatic views of the Cotton Bowl and of beautiful Dallas, Texas. MetLife provides coverage of major sporting events while also providing you with guarantees for the ifs in your life. 50-50 crowd. Oklahoma on the basis of 2 field goals leading Texas. Kirk Herbstreit and Lisa Salters. I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along with us. A gorgeous Saturday afternoon. From the 2 at DJ Monroe. Looking alley. Down at the 27-yard line. Lisa, what have you observed down below about Sam Bradford?
Well, Brent, they are no longer working on him, and as you can see, he's since taken his helmet off. A little while ago, he was trying to throw the ball a little bit. He did so very gingerly, no more than about 3 or 4 tosses. He is favoring that right shoulder, as you can see, and though I do not know the extent of the injury, I can tell you by the look on his face, he seems to be in a considerable amount of pain, guys.
Thank you, Lisa. And of course, the helmet off. Not a good sign when you're down there in the middle of a game.
No, how about this ride where you come in expecting to see a lot from Bradford McCoy? Bradford's injured. McCoy hasn't completed a pass yet.
Forced to run, something he hasn't done, and there's a penalty flag.
That's going to come back for a holding. But that aspect of Colt McCoy's game is important for Mack Brown. throughout this afternoon against the Oklahoma defense. He's going to have to use his legs to make plays today. This time Kyle Hicks will bring it back with a holding call.
Herbie, Texas has only 14 yards of offense. All running. As you said, Colt hasn't completed a pass, and meanwhile Oklahoma has 114 yards, but they've settled for 2 field goals. So the Texas offense struggling here in the early going against one of the best defensive fronts in college football. Incomplete. The middle was open. Shipley was the intended receiver. They made a feast out of that play last year, but not today. Let's go to Matt Weiner in New York for an update.
All right, Brent, you handle everything at the Texas Fairgrounds today. I'll take care of the rest of the country. Highlights and headlines to get you through the game. Starting with this Taco Bell update from Purdue, Terrell Pryor fumbled on the Buckeyes. First possession makes up for it here with a 6-yard keeper for the touchdown. Buckeyes have won 16 straight Big Ten road games. Iowa, second longest win streak in the country, but trailing in Madison.
And here, of course, the strength of 2 field goals. McCoy still trying to complete his first pass. There's a little bit of debate down here about this one. They're ruling catch on the field. The OU defenders certainly did not think that Malcolm Williams made the grab. Let us check here.
Oklahoma with the pressure. Ball is thrown in the back shoulder. Woo, his foot is up in the air when he catches that football. Of course, they're going to take another look at this. Brent, doesn't it look like his foot comes up? And that was a tough angle, but you take a few different looks at this.
I think instant replay will turn it over, Herbie.
Yeah, the first look sure looked like his foot elevated off the turf as soon as he was able to secure the football into his hands.
Big 12 officiating crew, the referee Scott Novak. Toss over to hear from the replay official upstairs, David Ames, taking a look at this.
Here's another good look at it. Wow. Glad they're making that call.
Is it indisputable? I mean, that's the if he doesn't think it's indisputable, he'll leave the call of completion. Remember, it's a completion call on the field.
Well, that is a tough call. You can see why the 2 officials came together. Even with replay, it's just a matter of when his foot went up into the air as he caught the football, whether or not they determined he actually had possession of the football. You know, Colt McCoy had started most of these games this year pressing and not throwing the ball with confidence.
The left foot and the catch. Was the toe still on the ground?
Yeah.
I'm glad it's Mr. Ames and not us making the call.
But Colt, whether he completes this or not, he needs to be able to settle down. That was kind of a big theme this week for he and Greg Davis, his offensive coordinator. Just relax and play the game. Just play. Have some fun.
The Oklahoma crowd breaks into a cheer. Incomplete. So it will be 3rd and 20 for McCoy and the Longhorns as the completion to Williams is turned over on instant replay.
The battle up front in this football game early is favoring Oklahoma's defensive line. Their athletic ability is getting the best of Texas, and they're getting some penetration, especially when Colt McCoy drops back to throw.
Shipley is slotted. And the defensive back walks up on it. Now he's going to back off. Showing McCoy one look, then another. Late movement by the defense. Here they come. McCoy gets it off, and it is caught by the tight end, but well short of a first down. Greg Smith.
Gotta love the looks that Brent Venables is dialing up here on third down, off to the right. You get the pressure, the corner, Jackson almost gets to Colt McCoy if he would have held on to that ball just a little bit longer, but they're showing pressure, they're disguising their looks, they're keeping the wide receivers and Colt McCoy guessing, especially on those big third downs.
Justin Tucker back to punt again, and the Horns with only 21 total yards. Dominique Franks is back. Low fair catches signal. And that's going to be marked around the 29-yard line. So the helmet is still off. And on the sidelines, and to back up the young man, Landry Jones, number 12. Yesterday, Herbie, I had a treat. I went out to Jerry Jones' brand new Texas Cowboy Stadium, and thinking about Landry, there's this wonderful statue of the old Cowboy legendary coach out there. And of course, Landry Jones is named after Tom. His mom and dad over in New Mexico were huge Cowboy fans. Thus, it is Landry Jones who has taken over. Here is Brown to the 35-yard line.
The tempo is so important in this football game for Oklahoma. They already have run 19 plays. And with Bradford back last week against Baylor, you can see they were up to 99 snaps. See if Landry Jones can keep the heat up.
Play fake. Landry in trouble, has to drop it off, and does a very good job of that to the tight end, Rattery.
You know, a lot of people wonder, why does Oklahoma go with that hurry up? The whole point is to be the aggressor, to get the defense that you're facing back on its heels, so they lose their edge. They lose their aggressiveness and their ability to blitz. They're more just trying to survive as opposed to trying to create pressure on the offense.
Third and short. They're going to have Landry swing it to Brown, who dives toward that first down marker. So he picks it up on a fine effort at the end of that catch, with Keenan Robinson closing in. Quickly they come to the next play. Incomplete. Great coverage there. That was Shockey Brown.
Brett, outside of Chris Brown and DeMarco Murray, you wonder who within this Oklahoma offense can make a play against the skill of the Texas defense. Brian Broyles, if he can hold up, is definitely a guy who can do that, but they're going to need somebody besides Murray and Brown to take some of the pressure off of those running backs.
So for the first time, we see Murray and Brown together in that backfield. And they will motion number 7 and swing it to him behind a wide receiver block. He gets a crease across midfield to the 45-yard line.
These receivers
and
are good.
He's shaken up, Herbie.
Broyles went down to make a big block. Clears Murray, but Murray's been battling through injuries throughout most of his career, and this would be devastating for Oklahoma. Just is getting back to the point of feeling that he's healthy. He told his coaches this week, it's the best I've felt all year. He's had so many injuries to overcome. You just hope as he walks off the field that he's going to be able to come back.
And of course, 65 of the 104 yards came on that early pass play. With the injured Sam Bradford, if you just joined us, on a corner blitz, he went down on top of the shoulder he injured against BYU and has not returned. This is Brown. Did a great job of escaping Earl Thomas and making it across the 30-yard line. An outstanding run by Chris Brown, the senior from Louisiana.
He gets to the outside. Robinson, number 1's got to do a better job. But watch Brandon Caleb's block right there on Brown. Curtis Brown was trying to get to the outside. And boy, oh boy, Brandon Caleb having a big day so far with his blocking and helping these running backs.
Whistle before the snap. So the false start against the Sooners will bring it back to the 34-yard line.
So there's Landry Jones hurrying, getting the Texas defense to commit to their look, and then the coaches at the top help make the adjustment now that they know what Texas is going to be in.
Hand off to Brown, and that middle is jammed. Nothing much doing as Eddie Jones makes the stop for the Horns.
Kind of the new wrinkle that we see all over college football over the last couple years, and Oklahoma has a lot to do with why it's become such a trend. Here's Will Muschamp, the bottom right, as a defensive coordinator, trying to also make his adjustments.
Jones moves the pocket over to the left. Under great pressure. Incomplete. That was Kenny, the intended target. Will Muschamp, the coach in waiting, and it may be a long time waiting, because Mac Brown telling me this week he got no thought of retiring, even should they win the national championship. 3rd down and 14. Landry Jones, and there's a penalty flag on a ricochet. It's intercepted. That was McElroy, but there was a penalty flag, as I said.
That's a good call, too. Shockey Brown gets there a little bit too early to knock the ball away from Broyles. Got too physical there. Ball was thrown pretty well by Landry Jones. Mac's not going to like this.
Offside. That'll nullify that.
Fine, that one.
And Mac is livid.
Shockey Brown gets in a little bit early. Landry Jones facing some pressure right there. But see that? Shockey Brown just knocks Broyles over. That ball was going right to number 85 for a completion.
That ball was, had the play stood, had there been no penalty, that was intercepted. That ball never hit the ground. 1st down and 10. And it is DeMarco Murray and Big Alexander, Ben Alexander, comes in to make the stop.
Nice to see Murray back out there for Oklahoma. As I said, it's been a battle for him. You know, the first 3 games, he averaged 13 touches a game. In the last 2, 23.
2nd down and 13. Jones again hit as he releases. Incomplete. Enormous pressure on number 12 that time.
Delayed blitz. Shockey Brown gets through there. And it was like he was just waiting for it to clear. He comes right off the corner off of Brandon Caleb, and the back isn't there to pick him up. Murray went to the right. Easy play for Brown.
Jones quickly to the snap. Throws deep right over the top. Jump ball incomplete. And a coverage by Curtis Brown.
Brent, you and I keep talking about it. Which of the Oklahoma wide receivers can make a play to help this young quarterback out? Ball is underthrown. It's a pretty good adjustment by Cameron Kenny. He goes up. The ball's kind of a bit of a duck, we'll call it, but he still has a chance to go up and make the play. Curtis Brown using his size and that boundary to his advantage.
So Stevens now has made his first 2. Here's the 45-yarder. No good. Oklahoma has dominated in the early going, but they only lead by 2 field goals.
Dreams. We all have them, some bigger than others. Big 12 Conference student athletes dream of.
Hoy on 1st down. Completes his 2nd pass of the game. Williams, the receiver.
Malcolm Williams and Dan Buckner both are going to have to help take some of the pressure off of Jordan Shipley in this offense.
Now it's McCoy with an option look. And Oklahoma is ready. Keenan Clayton, the linebacker.
That has everything to do with preparation. Texas has not shown a lot of the speed option, especially under center from Colt McCoy. Brent Venables and the defensive staff obviously knew that there might be some wrinkles this week. And Brent Venables getting these guys dialed in. No chance at all there for Colt McCoy in their offense.
2nd and 19. And it's another cold start by the Horns. They've been plagued by it this year. Dangerous, incomplete. Shuttles it off to Greg Smith.
Well, it makes it pretty tough to execute when you're losing the battle up front. Seems like every time Texas has had the ball, look at the advantage. Oklahoma already has run 30 plays. Within those yards for Texas, Colt McCoy has 2 completions. And here we are at the first quarter with about a minute to go. But up front, Texas is losing this football game on this side of the football.
3rd and 19. 4 wide receivers. They drop it off to Childs. And Childs is hit immediately by Jeremy Beal.
This Oklahoma defense right now, it's a feeding frenzy. They are flying to the football. As I said, there's almost a confidence that you can feel from up here, knowing what Texas wants to do. It reminds me when Oklahoma's played Texas Tech, at least last year, in the game in Norman, where they seemed to know the play before the play even came.
Justin Tucker. Franks will go for the return. Got a block at the 23, 45, cross midfield where he is upended at the Texas 48 as we check in again with Matt Weiner. Matt.
All right, Brent, let's get a Verizon Wireless update from Madison, Wisconsin. Iowa came in with the 2nd longest win streak in the country, 10 straight, but they're down 10-0 now. Monty Ball here with the touchdown. The Badgers with a homecoming lead. Ohio State still hanging on to a 7-3 advantage at Purdue.
And here, Matt, Oklahoma dominating but leading only by 2 field goals, and they've got superb field position after that 30-yard return by Dominic Franks. Murray returns, and this is the pistol where the quarterback lines up in a shorter formation than in the normal shotgun. And the handoff, and you wonder what players like Lamar Houston think about defending the run out of this formation.
I think you and I expected a low-scoring game in the opening drive. Oklahoma came right out, but all of a sudden as the game settles down, Bradford, of course, looks like he could be out for the game. Boy, these defenses have done a nice job of adjusting and starting to win that battle up front.
So ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. We welcome you back to the State Fair of Texas. Just a gorgeous Saturday afternoon here at the Cotton Bowl. A couple of field goals for the Sooners. They've lost their Heisman Trophy winner again. Sam Bradford knocked out of the game. So Landry Jones starts the 2nd by handing off to Brown. It has been a fierce defensive battle here today. And both quarterbacks, in fact, all 3 of them, have been bounced off the Cotton Bowl turf a number of times. They're going to take some licks in this one, Herbie.
We're getting a great look at 2 dominant defensive lines. Landry Jones already knocked down a couple times since he's been in there, but these 2 defensive lines are athletic and they play with an attitude.
The 3 wide receivers adjust their spacing on the left. Landry Jones complete. Comes in underneath for the 1st down, and to the 30-yard line, Tennell makes the catch, and he is defended by the corner on this side.
How about Tennell here making finally a big play for Oklahoma, but Landry Jones in rhythm. They brought pressure, man-to-man coverage on the outside. Chalky Brown gets beat by Tennell for big yards.
Brown juggling all the way, ball on the ground, loose. Texas recovers. Acho, Sam Acho recovers it.
He never had possession of the football. Right away, he starts to juggle it. He can't possess it right away. He gets hit right there by the young freshman, Alex Okafor. The ball is loose. And once it rolls onto the ground right towards the middle of that defense, you know that somebody in burnt orange is going to pick it up.
And Acho did just that. 1st down and 10 for Colt McCoy and the Horns. Trying to blitz McCoy. He'll step away from it. On the run, throw downfield. Incomplete. Childs was well defended, and there's a penalty flag.
Late flag, personal foul.
On the defense, number 27. Hit the quarterback in the helmet with his helmet. 15-yard penalty, automatic.
Sam Proctor.
You saw Colt McCoy picking up some time there by using his athletic ability, and Proctor just could not hold up here. And you know, again, that's one of those where you hit him a little bit late. He didn't wrap up and bring him down. It was just the initial burst and the contact, and the fact that he came high is why you get the call there.
McCoy in underneath, and he hits James Kirkendall, slipping out.
You get the feeling that whichever offense will eventually prevail and start to execute, somebody unheralded is going to have to make a play in this game, and James Kirkendall for Texas could be that kind of guy.
He's slotted to the left. You see Childs, the former quarterback, is number 7 at the bottom of your screen. He is the wide receiver. Here comes Whitaker. Slashes across midfield for a 1st down.
It's the first time that we've seen a crease there in the middle of the Oklahoma defense where Whitaker, who's got great explosiveness, is able to move right there, make a good read. He picks up some nice blocks. Nice job by Kyle Hicks. And there's a little bit of running room there.
McCoy tucks it away, and this will make a 2nd and 10 as he slides down. And our Pacific Life game summary with the 2 defenses dominating and Landry Jones replacing the injured Sam Bradford. Herbie.
Jones seems to be settling down. I think it's the pieces around Jones to see how they continue to play against Texas. And Colt McCoy, yet really, he's capable at any time of exploding and having a great game, but yet really to be able to settle in and make the plays.
Buckner is flexed. McCoy back, goes one-on-one. Shipley, his roommate's out of bounds, and there's a penalty flag. This will be an automatic 1st down. The biggest gains for Texas have been the penalties against Oklahoma. Jackson guilty of the infraction and shaken up.
Well, you knew this would be a battle all day. It's the boundary. Jackson, physical experience corner against Shipley. No problem pushing until the ball is in the air. And then once Jackson shoving there on Shipley, you can't do that. By the way, Shipley made the catch. Albeit out of bounds, he did make the catch.
Herbie, listen to this stat. The Horns have 35 yards of offense, but 50 yards of penalties. So by far, the biggest gains that Texas has had so far, the penalties against this hard-hitting OU defense. Timeout at the Cotton Bowl. Well, Colorado went on to win the AP National Championship that year, an 11-1-1 record, and you'll see play number 20 revealed today at our coverage at 3:30. Look down on this wonderful scene, and the freshman Hurst, number 19, is forced to play corner because of the injury to Jackson. McCoy drops it in to Shipley. They were looking for a little bubble screen. And Oklahoma with Dominique Franks and Travis Lewis just jumped number 8.
Well, they are dialed in right now on number 8, Jeremy Shockley, Jordan Shipley. I mean, one of the things about this offense is Colt McCoy has to eventually get the ball to Shipley, but Texas is completely struggling to be able to find ways against this Oklahoma defense to find ways to get him the football, and it's because he's being double teamed almost every single time he goes back. Colt McCoy goes back to throw.
Fozzie Whitaker is off there to the right. Chris Hall snaps it to McCoy. Incomplete, off Whitaker's hands.
And Colt McCoy frustrated there with Fozzie Whitaker. He wanted him to continue down and around towards the sideline because they're paying so much attention to Shipley. The corner that time was riding Shipley to the inside of the field. They had a nice lane around that to the outside, and Whitaker stopped where Colt McCoy wanted him to continue down the sideline. Would have been a big gain.
McCoy 5 of 10, but for only 22 yards against this Sooner defense. 3rd down and 10. Hurst has Shipley. McCoy sacked. And that was Hurst, the freshman. How about that? From Lancaster, Texas, DeMontre Hurst throws McCoy for a 17-yard loss. No one saw that coming from Brent Venables.
The corner is going to come from the outside, and one of the things that they're doing is they're confusing the wide receivers and Colt McCoy, and they're winning the battle up front. That's one way you take away a quarterback that can hurt you throwing the football, is you continue to put pressure on him, and that time he didn't have any time to do anything.
Forcing Tucker to punt again with Franks back deep. Gonna let this one go. Out of bounds, and it'll be marked at the 19-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Oklahoma Sooners, who lead it by 2 field goals.
ESPN's college football on ABC. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz E-Class, one of the most advanced automobiles on the planet. Aflac, we've got you under our wing. And Wrangler, for unbeatable comfort and value. You can count on Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans.
Now the kids love the animals, don't they, at the State Fair in Texas?
Oh, yeah.
So here we go. 1st down and 10 for Landry Jones. Replaced the injured Sam Bradford. Oklahoma up by 2 field goals. And complete. Kenny for a 1st down for Oklahoma. So the Sooners, Herbie, have been able to throw the ball. They've run for only 13. Texas has not been able to run it or throw it. So the advantage to the Oklahoma passing game so far.
A nice job there. Corner that time, the blitz from the nickelback, Aaron Williams. And right where he blitzed towards the bottom of the screen is exactly where Jones was able to throw it.
Continuing to use the pistol, running Brown, and he is thrown for a loss by Sergi O'Kendall. He certainly is a candidate for the Nikursky, given each year to the top defensive player in the country, Herbie.
Yeah, I think there's some confusion that time. You had Oklahoma's offensive line. They didn't even touch big number 2. And it is a guy that really needs a big game today. After all the criticism he's getting back in Austin.
2nd down and 14. Goes high, and great move by Earl Thomas. At the end of it, number 12. He has played spectacular football for the Longhorn defense this year and makes another fine move here.
Great instincts. There's the blitz. He's left one-on-one with Caleb, but it's the closing speed of Thomas. He has the closing speed and athletic ability of a cornerback playing safety.
3rd down and 14. In trouble. Jones steps away from it. On the move, throws it away. Well done by number 12 that time.
And Lamar Houston is having his way with Oklahoma's offensive line. Feel like it's a broken record. Both these defensive lines are stepping up. Jones, you're right, is smart to be able to throw the ball away, but Will Muschamp has to love the way his defense has settled down in this football game.
Now, can Jordan Shipley turn the tide again? Let's see what Bob Stoops' strategy is with Tressway, a strong punter, matched against Shipley. Out of bounds. Keeping the ball away, but that's too far away. That's only a 21-yard punt. Colt McCoy in the horns with good field position again coming up. Herbie, let's change the name of this game to the Red River Fist Fight.
Well, Oklahoma's had their way, putting a lot of pressure on Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy 5 of 10 at this point. It seems like almost every single time he has dropped back to throw, not only getting sacked, but just getting hit, getting pressured throughout this game. Already 7 times that he's gone down to the turf.
And of course, Sam Bradford knocked out of the game early on, and he appears to be done for the day. So here comes McCoy. And here comes that OU defense. Look at that front. Incomplete. The intended target was Childs that time. Quentin Carter with defense. There's their average yards per play today against this OUD.
It has everything to do with right now. When you win the battle in the trenches, it makes it very, very tough to call plays for Greg Davis. No matter how good you are with your quarterback and the skill around him, you got to get some help up front to give your quarterback a chance.
Second down and 10. High again. So the hits are starting to take the toll, and McCoy incomplete on his first 2 passes of this series. The one thing about Greg Davis, he's had so much experience, and here he is up here dialing plays. Some offensive coordinators panic in a game like this. Greg will not.
No. And he has so much faith in Colt McCoy, because Colt McCoy can turn things around within one play, and he knows that. It's just a matter of finding the right mixture of plays.
Constantly changing that OU look. There's the penalty flag. They were drawn offside.
David Snow with movement, the right guard.
78, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
The movement that you just talked about, it's easy for us to watch from up here, but when you're struggling and the field is definitely tilting in one way, you start to get a little bit unsure of yourself, and all of a sudden you start to hear that snap count and you're trying to make adjustments as they're moving back and forth. There's a lot of communication going on within the offensive line as Oklahoma's showing blitz and then they're backing out. Puts a lot of pressure up front on Texas.
Kirkendall, Childs, Shipley, the wide receivers for Colt on 3rd and 15. Going down again. 8th time of the day. Jeremy Beal takes him to the ground.
Beal is right in the middle of the picture. He's a defensive end, but he's lined up like a linebacker. He is spying Colt McCoy, waiting for Colt McCoy to step up into the pocket, an area that hurt Oklahoma's defense last year. This year, they're waiting for McCoy to step up, and there's big Jeremy Beal as a defensive end lined up right in the middle, just waiting for Colt McCoy.
What an unbelievable defensive performance by Oklahoma. 21 total yards. Franks will let this one go out of bounds. So Brent Venables has dialed up the D here today. You're watching ESPN on ABC. Time now for Kirk Herbstreit versus the Aflac trivia question. All right, besides Colt McCoy, Herbie, what quarterbacks have started 4 games in this rivalry?
How many are there?
That's a bunch. I'll give you a hint. There's 2.
2?
There are 2.
I know one of them.
Okay.
Was it Texas from like 89 to 92?
Okay. I didn't ask for the dates. Slightly complete, and Caleb, I believe, got the first down. He did.
I get bonus points for that? Well, there's a receiver making a play for Landry Jones. I keep saying it. Somebody's going to have to help out not only Landry Jones, but Chris Brown and DeMarco Murray. And Kenny has made a few plays, and Caleb, who's had a great day blocking, that time beating man coverage.
Another quick snap by Kevin. Back-to-back completions for Landry Jones, who seems to be getting into a rhythm here.
Going after Curtis Brown, back-to-back plays with Caleb. One time to the inside, this time to the outside. Nice little rhythm, and Jones definitely settling in and confident, throwing the ball to the near side there to his favorite target at the point. Caleb going up against Curtis Brown.
11 of 20 for Jones for 124 yards in this game, and most importantly for the young quarterback, he has not turned it over. Hand off to DeMarco. He is cut off. Trying to look at Kendall Close, another Nagurski candidate, and he'll be playing on Sunday for a long, long time.
So it gives you an idea of what this offense is trying to do. Kevin Wilson upstairs, once he lost Sam Bradford, has tried to make adjustments with Landry Jones, but another devastating injury
Oh my goodness, that's their best offensive lineman.
Yeah.
That's Trent Williams, most experienced All-American candidate, senior from Longview, Texas. So he's being tended to down there. And so Herbie, well, we've got a stoppage. Let's take care of the Affleck business here now.
Well, from 89 to 92, I know the first one. Gardere, Peter Gardere.
That's a good one.
And then I'm going to go with Jason White because he came in.
No, good guess though. It was Brown.
Okay.
They're all Texas youngsters. Okay. But look at the one-loss record by Peter Gardere. 4-0.
Unreal.
It has been, if you look back at the history book about this, it has been a series of streaks. You know, when Stoops came in, he went 5-0.
Right.
Now Mack has won 3 of the last 4. And this is the longest that any of the 2 same coaches at Oklahoma and Texas have squared off in this rivalry. Pretty interesting.
It is. We talked about Trent Williams and what he means to this offense. By the way, an offensive line that is, again, trying to build continuity up front. A lot of people feel that he is a future first-round pick. He will play a lot of football in his future. But it's another injury up front to this offensive line. We'll see how Corey Brandon, who's a right tackle, steps in now playing the left tackle spot. Just so happens it's second and long in an obvious passing situation.
Oh my, your left tackle, your All-American tight end, your Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and yet the Sooners have found a way to lead it 6-0 behind a brilliant defensive effort here. Second down and 16 for Landry Jones. On the move again, and he'll throw it away. Third down coming up for the Sooners.
Well, that time it was very, very good coverage by Texas, and it allowed the penetration to eventually get to Landry Jones. Landry Jones, those first couple passes, he had the mismatch that he wanted. Now he's seeing some pretty good adjustments by this secondary. And look out for Lamar Houston, who's had a field day so far against Oklahoma here.
Forced to move the pocket again and bounces it. Broyles the intended target, and Oklahoma will have to punt it away.
Another good job. Give the Texas secondary an assist there. Great coverage downfield, and young Landry Jones. The difference with Jones compared to Bradford is when his initial read is not there, he's not as quick to come off to his second and third receiver. Whereas Bradford, with the experience, can do that. Landry Jones looks for the first guy, and then he begins to panic a bit, getting out of the pocket maybe before he needs to.
Shipley is back, standing on the Horns 35. Trust Way booms it over his head. Shipley on the move. On one hop from the 5. Penalty flag. Field judge had a penalty. Shipley is tackled at the 9-yard line. There is a bullseye on number 8 here today.
Yeah, they are everywhere he goes. They're locked in, but I think he's going to catch a break with a face mask call.
Personal foul. Face mask. Kicking to number 5. 15 yards to the dead ball spot. First down.
Watch young Austin Box here get the face mask.
Well, they had great coverage. They're downfield. It's actually right in front of us, away from the ball carrier.
I'm not sure about this one at all. I'm like Stoops.
Furious.
I don't see it. Did you see it, Herbie, when he went down?
It was actually on the man that was blocking for Shipley.
There was no face mask on Shipley.
It's on the block at the bottom right there.
There it is right there.
It's not on Shipley.
It was not on Shipley. Okay. First down and 10. And McCoy keeps it for a first down. A 12-yard run. A design play here.
And it's a good job. They're going back to the misdirection, using the speed of Fozzie Whitaker, moving him from one side to the other, and then just running Colt McCoy right into the middle of that defense. They were playing a little bit of a guessing game there with their front. Caught him off guard and picked up some big yards.
Now they come back with the running back to the 35-yard line. So Greg Davis told us earlier in the week he was determined to try and get something out of the running game. And so far, that something has given them only 10 yards, the longest of which was Colt McCoy's run.
Well, you have to be able to run the football if you're Mack Brown, just to, if nothing else, to slow down that dominant defensive line. Right now, Oklahoma's in attack mode because they don't respect the run game, and they're just pinning their ears back and coming after Colt McCoy. The running game could slow that down.
Four-man rush.
No play. We have Fozzie Whitaker lined up as a wide receiver at the top. Looked like he was moving before the ball was snapped.
Ball start on the offense. Number 26.
DJ Monroe.
Second down.
Yeah, DJ Monroe getting a look here because remember Vondrell McGee injured his shoulder. Trey Newton out with a concussion. So Fozzie Whitaker and now Monroe moving.
You know, a guy that I think Colt McCoy is going to have to find eventually is Dan Buckner, who's flexed out as a tight end. Has a chance to make some plays for this offense. Big, tall target. They've yet to really have a chance to get him the football.
Going to keep it again on a quarterback draw. And McCoy back to the original line of scrimmage, plus about a yard. So here comes another big third down.
Travis Lewis, and again, it's just about the pressure that they're creating. You see the back trying to come over Whitaker to pick up Travis Lewis on the blitz, and by the time he does, the entire pocket is collapsing on Colt McCoy, and he's got to get out of there.
Third and 9.
Look at the movement up front.
Comes the blitz. Drops it off. Great grab, but short of the first down. Kirkendall went up, and that was Jonathan Nelson, and there's a penalty. And Mack Brown is right there with his wide receiver, unhappy about the end result.
Well, you got to keep your cool in these rivalry games.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the offense, number 11. 15-yard penalty, fourth down.
He comes up, he's frustrated. He knows Oklahoma's trying to intimidate him. Instead of going to the sidelines, he gives a headbutt to Quentin Carter.
He's lucky he's not tossed from the game with that.
You're right about that.
That was a silly move, an inexcusable move with a play over. You know an official's looking at you. I'm not so sure the conference won't look at that.
That's what I was going to say. Based on what we studied before the season started, that was one of the examples that they used.
Let's be smart. Tucker. Drives Franks back again on the bounce. Oh, a dangerous field. Loose ball. Loose ball. Scooped up by the horns. Touchdown. Here comes the signal. The official was knocked down, and it's touchdown, Texas. Malcolm Williams scoops it up and carries it over the end zone.
But Brent, we've got an issue here. It's a fumble by Franks. I want you to watch this. The ball is picked up by Malcolm Williams. He fumbles this before he gets into the end zone. It's going to be a touchback in Oklahoma's football. They're going to definitely look at this. I don't know if he got the ball across the plane. Look at the hustle here. He knocks the ball loose. I think he's short of the end zone. See how the ball goes out? That would be Oklahoma's ball at the 20 if he did not cross the plane.
Norby, I think you're right on top of it. The Oklahoma coaches are out on the field. They got the word that the ball was knocked out. Watch it come flying.
Yeah, it's going to be Oklahoma's ball at their own 20-yard line after all of that.
That's a touchback when it goes out, baby. That's a great pickup, Kirk, on this one. Here is the fumble.
It's a good job by.
No question he has possession.
Oh, yeah. Great job by Williams
what happens.
to pick
it's
it
where
up.
The ball is struck.
Texas
it was pounded out by Brandon Crow. And now they're going to call him out of bounds in Texas ball. Hang on, they'll take a look at this.
Further review.
No question.
There's so much to look at here. One thing we know for sure is Franks fumbled the football, and Malcolm Williams picked it up. Did he step out of bounds before he ended up fumbling the football? Also, is Franks out of bounds when he touched the ball?
Well, that's
another issue.
That's another issue.
So he's inbounds, but then fumbles.
If they mark the ball over there, then the call on the field has to be Texas ball right there. Now, instant replay can only change certain things here.
And that's where I let you break that down. I just know that the only issue for me here is, did Dominique Franks have the football long enough, and was his foot touching out of bounds? Is this considered out of bounds right there? If I'm reviewing it, that's what I want to know, because the rest of this is pretty elementary. Malcolm Williams picked the football up and fumbled before he got into the end zone. Oklahoma ball at their own 20.
But if they call it a muff,
right,
you cannot advance it, and you give Texas the ball right there. I believe, in all possible probability, that's what they ruled down on the field. They did not call Franks out of bounds. That would still be Oklahoma football, and we had Texas lined up and ready to go. Now the coaches, especially the Oklahoma coaches, are demanding an explanation. Does our shot indicate that Franks was out of bounds before the fumble? Is it conclusive on that far side with that foot?
Yeah, was his heel touching?
I'm not so sure about that.
And the other issue is, if Williams can in fact pick up that ball, the fumble, we took a couple good looks at the fumble. The fumble definitely came before he got to the end zone.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Texas's ball, 1st and 10 at the 18 on the recovery of the muff.
Okay, there it is, the muff. What I said, they cannot advance it. Okay, that's what they had set up on the field. They couldn't turn it over that he had possession and stepped out of bounds. That was a bad decision on Franks' part over there on that sideline. Right. You know, that ball, just get it out of the way.
A lot of craziness, and give the officials all the credit for making the right call on the field where you can't advance the muff. Oh, he's going back. Is he going back for more now? Looks like he's going back to maybe find the exact amount of time that should be on the clock here.
MetLife is providing today's aerial coverage. Visit MetLife.com to learn more about MetLife's long history of providing coverage at major sporting events. So what they were doing was resetting the game clock. The PA announcer said they were reviewing. They were just getting straight here with the game clock. So for the first time here this afternoon, in case you just joined us, wild and woolly Red River rivalry. And Texas is in the Oklahoma red zone against this fierce defense. Texas only 43 total yards. There's Whitaker, the fake throw in underneath, and a jarring tackle by Franks.
If you're Colt McCoy in Texas right now, sometimes this is what you need to be able to catch a break like this to get the offense going. Colt McCoy throwing on 1st and 10, but as Shipley catches the ball again, these white jerseys are all over Jordan Shipley. This time it's Dominique Franks who lowers the boom for a very short gain.
2nd and 7.
Shipley in the slot now up at the top.
Here comes blitz, and there's a penalty flag and an indication on Oklahoma's side by Reynolds that there was a false start. So the movement is causing trouble in the Texas offensive line. David Snow again. And he'll come to the sideline. Lewis, big time linebacker, and he too could be considered a candidate for the Nagurski, which is awarded each year to the top defensive player. That's a great name for a defensive award. Oh, Bronco Nagurski. 2nd down and 11. Mike Michael Huey will replace Snow in the offensive line. On 2nd and 11, hit and almost intercepted. Dangerous throw, and Keenan Clayton, the other outside linebacker, gets over, and down goes McCoy.
Good job here by Gerald McCoy from Oklahoma. McCoy wants to step up into the pocket. Look how McCoy squeezes in to take that away. Actually affects his vision, and Colt McCoy couldn't get anything on that ball. Clayton almost intercepts it. Colt McCoy catches a break there.
That is the 11th time that Colt McCoy has hit the turf here today. 3rd down and 11. Rolling the pocket to the right, and play was stopped.
And Mac Brown jumping in, trying to get a timeout from the sideline.
First charge of the first half.
So on a 3rd and 11, Mac Brown wants to bring him over. So let's see. Coming up on the Cooper Tires halftime report, John and Jesse will have all the day's big highlights. So last year, Herbie, we were here, what was it? Final 45-35. I had.
Yeah.
So we had what, about 80 points? Is that what that?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Back and forth, back and forth.
We don't have a single touchdown here today. Just the 2 field goals. We had that one long run by DeMarco Murray and to start this game, and OU settled for its first field goal.
You have to wonder which of these offenses is going to be able to eventually slow down the opposing defense. Right now, they have both offenses are staggered because of what's happening up front on the offensive line. They cannot slow down the pressure that either one is facing.
Sam Bradford knocked out of the game.
That's where Brent Venables has been dialing it up. Look at all the movement trying to confuse Texas's offensive line.
Giving wants to change it up, and the clock runs out. You see the 0-0?
All that movement, Brent, is affecting the play call by Texas. It's affecting the communication up front, and it ultimately that time affected Colt McCoy. I think Texas is frustrated because by the time they got out after the timeout, the play clock is halfway over.
47 total yards of offense for Texas with 3:51 to go in the first half. He's down to 4 seconds again. McCoy fires high and incomplete, and he had Shipley breaking beautifully on the post. He had Shipley that time with a step.
Well, Shipley finally had some room. Quentin Carter starting to, but there's the movement. There's the movement and the confusion. And even when you don't get to Colt McCoy, he feels the presence of this Oklahoma defense. Beal coming all the way around the edge to finally, once again, knock Colt McCoy down. But you're right. That time, Shipley finally had a little bit of wiggle room there if McCoy would have had more time.
Hunter Lawrence, 9 of 11 this year. This is 1 yard shy of his long for the year. And Texas on the board as the battle of field goals continues. Bevo. About time, boys. Where you been? The Red River rivalry lives in Dallas, Texas. Crowd split 50-50. 6-3 Herbie, battle of the field goals, and quarterbacks are taking a pounding here today. The headline, of course, Sam Bradford knocked out for the second time this season. Colt McCoy has been bounced around like a rag doll down there.
Who would have ever thought coming into this game that getting close to halftime could be maybe a 6-3 game, and that Colt McCoy in Texas would have 47 yards of offense at this point. They're very fortunate that the defense clamped down in the red zone and that they're only down 6-3 the way this first half has gone.
3:42. Going to be returned from the 5-yard line. Out to the 43, ball loose, and the horns with the indication on the field. Emmanuel Acho will be on the bottom of that pile. Yes, sir.
Boy, another break for, watch Curtis Brown right here. Boom, that hit right there caused a fumble, and once it's down, Acho is right there. One of the brothers for the Texas defense comes up. Another big break for Texas. Let's see if they can capitalize again on it.
That's Madu coughing it up on that big hit.
See, now you have a change of momentum like this. It'd be pretty smart to try to take a shot. Take a shot downfield. Go to something that you're comfortable with and you're confident with against a pressuring style of defense from Oklahoma.
Oklahoma with back-to-back turnovers with the return team. Remember that botched punt, and now on the kickoff return. McCoy to throw, almost picked off, and again the linebacker Clayton. So both linebackers on those quick passes to the outside, Herbie, Lewis and now Clayton.
But last year, this is the kind of offense that hurt Oklahoma. They had an entire offseason to get ready for these underneath throws. Everybody wanted to know how they would handle these short throws that hurt them, mainly to Shipley last year. They're locked in on every single route that Texas is running. Colt McCoy doesn't have anywhere to go towards the middle of the Oklahoma defense.
Second and 10. Play clock coming down inside of 5. Pump fake. Takes off. And then throws it out of bounds.
But the discipline here by Brian Jackson, the near side corner. It's a little pump and go. He's just sitting there baiting, waiting for Colt McCoy. Throw it. Throw it, buddy. I'm waiting for it. I'm ready for this. Isolated one-on-one against Childs. See the little pump and go. They were anticipating, since they're jumping all these short throws, maybe Jackson will try to jump the next one. Great discipline by Jackson that time, not biting and sitting back. Colt McCoy had nowhere to go once again with the football.
Third and 10. Play clock coming down. They have to call a timeout. That's his second one. With the play clock down at 1, Colt McCoy uses Texas's second timeout here. And a reminder that defense, you like defense? Well, today and tonight at 7:45 Eastern, football prime time presented by Hampton Hotels brings South Carolina against Alabama. And that's on ESPN HD tonight. Herbie, I tell you, I thought Alabama was the best defense we'd looked at until today. Okay, now there's that's a heck of a coaching matchup there tonight at 7:45 Eastern. Absolutely. On ESPN.
You wonder if the ball coach will have enough offense to challenge that Nick Saban defense. And on the other side, you know, a great story for me has been watching Mark Ingram and how he has really become the heart and soul to that offense. Jim McElwain, the offense coordinator at Alabama, doing a great job with first-year starter Greg McElroy, but a lot of it has to do with Mark Ingram and what he's doing.
What a coaching job by Brent Venables and the rest of that defensive staff. Third down and 10. Texas doesn't even have 50 yards of offense yet. On a throw back, good route run by Greg Smith, and there's a little bit of a change-up with a 1st and 10 at the 30. Not expecting the tight end to slip out like this.
That's a great description of him slipping out. He's just going to come right through here. Oklahoma being aggressive. Oklahoma attacking towards the field. It's a good job by Greg Davis going to a change up here, taking advantage of that speed and that flow to the field and throwing back to the other way.
And 1st and 10, Whitaker into the middle. Battled his way, and let us check in with Matt Weiner. Matt.
All right, Brent, Iowa is 6-0 for the first time since '85. They're giving themselves a chance to get to 7-0. Down 10-3, Ricky Stanzi to Tony Moliaki, and they are tied up at 10 in Madison.
Moliaki, fine tight end. That's 3 times that Stanzi's hit his tight ends in the last couple of games. Second down and 7. And Colt keeps it on that read option, and he's down inside the 10. Still 5. Ball on the ground. Recovered by Oklahoma in the end zone. Touchback coming out on the 20 if he was not ruled down. He may have been ruled down. Instant replay. We'll take a look at this.
The field, fumble inbounds, recovered for a touchback. The previous play is under further review.
McCoy indicating for sure that he was down. Franks recovers the loose ball in the end zone.
How about, again, the play call? Fake Steven, the cameraman out here, finally being able to run the football. The determination from Colt McCoy. Boy, that extra second, third, and fourth effort just going to come down to whether or not the ball came out before his knee touched in the midst of that effort that he was trying to put the ball into the end zone. They're trying to rip at the ball. Clayton has his hands on the ball there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Clayton had reached in early, and they're going to take a long look. Number 22 may have ripped it on the way down, and if so, that's going to be recovered by Franks in the end zone. Another tough call for instant replay.
So I think you have to clearly have possession of the football. It can't just be on your body. You have to have doing a great job of securing the football. A couple of those looks showed as he was coming down, he did not have a hold of the football. Sure, it was on his jersey, but it was coming out as he came down.
What a magnificent defensive performance by Oklahoma. Here's a team without its Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, without its #1 draft choice at tight end. Their left tackle is now back on the field after being injured. A rebuilt offensive line in the middle twice. And the defense standing tall here, leading 6-3 with 2:17 to go. And now it's Landry Jones's turn. Brown. It'll be second down at 10. There are the guys up front. Taylor, McCoy, Beal, English. An awesome front.
Well, the front has been dominating, but the linebackers have been creating a lot of the confusion. It's just been a group effort there and what they've been able to do. But you're right, it all starts with Brent Venables and the plan that he's put together this week for Texas's offense.
Second and 10. Fake the end around. No, he's got it. Fumble. Goes after the loose ball. Texas is going to be marked on the 1-foot line.
Talk about catching a break here. How about the call here on a reverse to Kenny? Earl Thomas is all over it. He knocks the ball out. It looks like Texas might catch another break deep in Oklahoma territory, but somehow the ball bounces back to Kenny and away from Thomas. That looked like Thomas was definitely going to jump on top of that into the end zone.
Final minute of the first half.
Previous play is under further review.
They'll take another look at it. That's the first play that I would second guess. It's a tough job calling plays.
Yeah.
Okay. In a game like this, down there,
the Texas has one timeout.
I would second guess that end around.
Right.
Okay. Now that's means nothing. It looks like Kenny did scoop the ball up, just what you said.
Yeah, and it looked like he was out of the end zone. So officials, as much as there's been a little kind of some gray area, they've done a really good job of making the proper calls.
This is a hard game to officiate.
Very hard.
This is a rock'em sock'em fist fight going on between these two teams.
You talked about the turnovers. I found it interesting getting ready for the game. The turnovers are always big in any game, but in the last 4 in this emotional rivalry, the team that has won the turnover battle has in fact won the football game.
I think, is that Stoops that's gone all the way out on the field to talk to a couple of the officials?
Yeah, all the way to the 5-yard line. And right now that turnover battle is.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Oklahoma have the ball at the 1-yard line.
You know, the review itself may have helped Oklahoma backed up into that Texas end zone. The crowd was really alive. They got time to regroup over there, think about what they wanted to do here.
Oklahoma better be very, very, very careful with the way Texas is playing up front, getting penetration against this O-line.
The 3rd and 29, they just want to try to...
That's what I'm saying. They have to be careful not giving up a safety here. Even on a running play.
He's going to bring it down. Are they going to take it half the distance? Is that what Stoops was out there about? And he calls timeout as he runs the clock down, and that's what he told the officials that he was going to do. He was out there about his clock management.
Yeah, he wanted to work the game clock down as far as he could. He got it down to 42 seconds, used one of his timeouts.
He knows he's going to have to punt on 4th down and trying to give Texas as few seconds as possible here at the end of the half.
Oklahoma will run the football here. Texas will have to use their last timeout. And unless there's something unusual like a safety or a block punt, Texas should have very good field position, probably close to Oklahoma territory with no timeouts left and about 35 seconds or so to go. We've talked a lot about Oklahoma and Brent Venables, but the Texas defense really playing great today too for Will Muschamp. Earl Thomas has been all over this field today.
186 yards of offense for Oklahoma and 85 for Texas. Throw out of the end zone and underneath. And that's Rattery, the tight end, and Texas now uses its last timeout with 34 seconds to go. Well, the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues with the NASCAR Banking 500 at Lowe's Motor Speedway tonight at 7 Eastern on ABC. Jimmy Johnson trying to four-peat, has taken over the chase lead, and of course this is one of the closest in years. Very, very wide open. Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart aren't out of it, and Juan Pablo Montoya quietly staying in the thick of things. Of course, Mark Martin was the leader, and Jimmy caught him, so that'll be good viewing there tonight with that down in Charlotte. That's always a great track to watch NASCAR from. So here we come now, 4th down and 23 with 25 seconds to go. Shipley, if he gets a shot, standing near midfield. Tressway. Shipley at midfield, drops it, scoops it up, and he's down at the 38-yard line.
Texas, if he could have just fielded that punt, they would have been right around midfield and now back to their own 40. If he fair catches that, he's right at midfield. Unlike Jordan Shipley to ever lose a punt like that, and then he's lucky just to hold on to it, is once again Oklahoma is all over him. The way this offense is executing, it's going to be pretty tough in 24 seconds to get into field goal range. Got Shipley all the way up at the top.
He set a screen in underneath, and Whitaker tried to get him loose with the speed. He steps out of bounds, stops the clock, 17 seconds after crossing midfield.
Pretty well designed play here, and his nice speed by Whitaker to pick up some valuable yardage. I like how Colt just took his time, looked it off. The timing of that was very, very nice, and it opened up a nice lane there for Whitaker to pick up those yards.
Throws complete over Whitaker. He stayed in bounds. A final 10 seconds. Remember, they're out of timeouts. Doesn't have the timeout. He wants to get it down and have one more shot at it if he can. He'll have 2 seconds.
It's a little thing, but a long throw like that, and your receiver doesn't get out of bounds, it's a risk. And by not getting out of bounds, it costs you not only time, but probably a chance to put up points on the board here.
Venables is setting the prevent. Backing off the secondary. Way back. As you can see on the last play of the half, and there's a penalty flag. Down goes McCoy again, and Gerald McCoy brings down Colt. This is against the offense. They can run it out, but not against the D.
Legal motion on the offense, number 7. Penalties decline. Halftime.
So Texas averaging 479 yards, and Lisa, Oklahoma held them to 95 as we go down to you.
Thanks, Brent. Bob, what is your training staff telling you about the extent of Sam Bradford's injury?
Just similar to the last one. Don't know anything other than that.
Well, what are the chances that he might be able to return to this game?
I don't believe that'll happen.
All right, thank you very much. Guys.
All right, Lisa. A 6-3 defensive battle. Let's send it to the Times Square studio. Big John Saunders and smooth Jesse Palmer for the Cooper Tires halftime report. Take it away, John.
Big and smooth here for every halftime as it is now. Sam Bradford knocked out of the game. Second time this season he's been knocked out. Colt McCoy's been knocked around all over this game, but the real story is turning the ball over.
No question about it. And I spoke to Mac Brown this week, and he reminded me that the winner of this game the last 4 years won the turnover battle. Something he's been stressing to his football team all week long in preparation for this contest. John, you get the feeling the team that takes better care of the football in the second half walks away with this win.
Now, for Texas to be coming out a little bit flat is not unusual this year. They've had some slow starts this season. You see, down by 3 today, but they trailed Colorado before coming back, although they only scored 2 offensive touchdowns in that game. Texas Tech, 10-3 game. Wyoming, it was a 13-10 game before they blow things out. But the pressure on Colt McCoy, he felt it early and often.
Oklahoma's defense has been so impressive in the first half of this game. They look faster. They're getting to Colt McCoy in the backfield. They're getting to the running backs in the backfield. They're beating the Texas players to the football in the passing game. I think it is so important in the second half. Texas is able to run the football. They have to strive for balance, slow that rush down. Colt McCoy probably needs to carry the football a little bit more. He's had some success early. They have to run the football and take care of the football.
Has not carried the football as much this year as in previous years.
Hard-hitting has this red rivalry been? Well, there have been, Herbie, 6 fumbles, 5 turnovers overall, and let's take a look at our city inside view.
Well, one of the more physical first halves that I think we've seen this year in college football. It started early, a lot of pressure on Sam Bradford. He only played 2 possessions for OU. This was the play that ended up knocking him out of the game. And on the other side of the football, boy, oh boy, Colt McCoy has been hit a lot. In fact, 14 times the Oklahoma defense has had a chance to put pressure on him and knock him to the ground. And you got to wonder how you make an adjustment for both these quarterbacks. Landry Jones now in for Sam Bradford, and of course for Colt McCoy. What can he do to slow things down? They had 10 first half possessions and 38 offensive plays.
You know, there were a couple of optimistic things though for Coach Davis and the Horns, and I'm going to point at Whitaker. He was able to get the edge a couple of times for him. Now, what would you do to slow down this Oklahoma defense?
That's the thing that you have to be able to do, is you have to have some kind of running game, whether it's to the outside, trying to go right into the teeth of the penetration of Oklahoma, but something to make Oklahoma's front appreciate and respect what you can do. And they've tried some misdirection that has worked.
Right.
You get the Oklahoma defense aggressive running one way, and you try to go back the other way. That might be something. What's happening is
the reason you can't run the ball is because you're also losing the battle on the perimeter. He doesn't have a lot of receivers outside of Jordan Shipley helping his cause because they're not getting off of the coverage that Brent Venables' guys are putting on him.
And of course they get to handle the ball, so it'll be Texas ball at the 32. Now let's take you back to the opening game. This was the last series of the first half. Watch the impact. Right on top of that injured right shoulder. That knocked him out for 3 games. That was their first defeat, 14-13. Now today, Herbie, a very, very similar injury.
It reminded me of the same look. The blitz came. He wasn't able to avoid it. He tried to roll to his right to try to avoid the pressure. And when Williams got to him, he came down, obviously, right on it, that same shoulder.
Trailing by a field goal. And there's that read option, and Whitaker starts off getting the edge on first down. This is the young man who showed the spark that we were talking about in that first half. He had gained 30 yards and given 11 back until that run. Let's check in down below with Lisa.
Well, Sam Bradford is now out of his jersey, out of his pads. I saw him about 10 minutes or so ago heading into the x-ray room where that shoulder is being x-rayed. Guys.
All right, Lisa, let's hope for the best. Remember, there was always thought in the back that surgery was a possibility as they strike outside quickly. And Shipley, here comes Sam Bradford back from after having the picture taken by the x-ray machine. Left after 8 plays. He hit 1 big pass for 65 yards to DeMarco Murray. And now it is Texas picking the tempo up, and here is the young running back. No question about it. What they've discovered is number 28, and they're going to keep the ball with him.
Well, they also discovered the tempo and trying to get upfield and all of a sudden becoming the aggressor as an offense. This is the first 3 plays that we've seen Texas attacking Oklahoma instead of just trying to withstand the punishment that Oklahoma was putting on them.
Childs is singled to the outside right. Quick strike to number 7. And read right away by Brian Jackson making the stop as we take a look, Herbie, at the Pacific Life game summary.
There wasn't a lot to like if you look at the offensive side of the football, but you look at the rushing yards for Oklahoma. They've been able to overcome that and hold their own with Landry Jones in there. The big thing, the third downs, Texas 1 for 9. And, of course, the bottom line, the turnovers. Oklahoma 3, Texas 2. And as we have it, a very low-scoring game, although here comes Texas with their first possession in the second half, looking pretty good.
Kirkendall is slotted to the left. And Vondrell McGee gets his first carry of the game. Injured his shoulder against Colorado. Was able to practice late in the week and pronounced ready to go. Buckner now checks in, and McGee comes out. So they'll spread the field here on this 3rd and 7.
This is where the movement, the pre-snap movement, has given Texas's offensive line fits. They all stand up, they move around. This time they're actually stepping right into their stance and showing 4 defensive linemen.
He's on the offensive line. Venables walks up a linebacker. Incomplete. And it'll be 4th down. And McCoy picks himself off the ground the 15th time here today.
Brent Venables pretty excited because he knows that his defense showed the pressure. They actually only brought 2 and dropped 9, and about 7 of them were at about 5 yards down the line of field. Venables having his team completely dialed in to what Texas's offensive attack is with Colt McCoy today.
Hunter Lawrence hit a 42-yarder in the first half. This will be 41 for the tie. Looks long enough. The battle of the field goals continues here at the Red River rivalry in Dallas. "104 times these two teams have battled, and you never ever know what you're going to get." Last year, high scoring, explosive offensive game. Today, a hard-hitting, fierce tug-of-war between 2 defenses with 4 field goals. All we've got up on that scoreboard right now. Tied at 6. Tucker with the ball on the tee. At the 14 is Madu. Blasts up the middle to the 36-yard line. freshman Landry Jones will put it in play. And a reminder that on ESPN 2 tonight at 6 Eastern, Virginia Tech climbing up the rankings, and the BCS rankings will be out tomorrow. Will they jump ahead of Texas or even Alabama? Well, first they got to handle the Ramblin' Wreck tonight, Georgia Tech, so you want to keep an eye on that one with the BCS rankings due out tomorrow. Landry Jones and alongside Chris Brown, the running back, checking over to see what Kevin Wilson is dialing up after taking a look at Muschamp's defense. 3 seconds on that clock. Gotta hurry. Did just get it off. No, maybe they didn't.
Oklahoma calling a timeout. Looks like it came from Bob Stoops right before, you're right, the play clock went down. That's a shame with this kind of game. You want to hold on to your timeouts as long as possible, especially when you're coming out of a timeout with just starting a drive here.
And I thought maybe he got it off.
Yeah, I know.
Had some terrific views on a gorgeous, just a gorgeous Saturday afternoon, offered up by the MetLife blimp. And MetLife, of course, has the protection you need for the most important ifs in your life. So visit MetLife.com today. Sides equally split. Every now and then there'll be a rascal from one side or the other.
How do you get
invade the other side?
All that burnt orange.
Well, Trent Williams returned late in the first half, and he's back out there here again. Not much given with anybody's running game here today. Acho, that's Sam. The brothers, one's 81, the other's 18. Emmanuel and Sam, and they have been very, very active. And now we've got, is that Lamar Houston, who's down, the senior from Colorado Springs, one of the few youngsters, Herbie, who didn't play high school football in Texas. In fact, there are 2 starters for the Longhorns, not in the state. He's one of them. He's out of Colorado Springs, and Ben Alexander is out of South Carolina, and that does not look good.
Oh, boy. He's grabbing at his right knee, and Lamar Houston is the anchor of this defensive line, with so many questions about they lost great players, Brian Arakpo, Roy Miller, among some of the others. Lamar Houston's become the leader of this group, and he has dominated the football game today, constantly in the Oklahoma backfield. To the far left there, it looked like Brody Eldridge, who's wearing number 50 today, the tight end, has moved back to center, rolled up on his knee. You can see by the reaction. Oh, boy.
Yeah, you see Will Muschamp there, the headset on, clapping. And, of course, Mac Brown has named him the coach in waiting. It's sort of interesting because there are big controversies around the country about coaches in waiting, certainly down at Florida State. Remember, they're also in place in Kentucky and Maryland. But it's working beautifully in Texas, and both men told me this week it's because Mac Brown made the decision. And nothing's going to happen without Brown deciding when and if, and everything goes straight through him. And right now, Will Muschamp is one of the highest salaried defensive coordinators in the country. And he said, I love my job. I'm not even thinking about having all the responsibility. So it works at Texas, but it has not worked at Florida State for a number of reasons. 2nd down and 9. Jones with time, Herbie, and it's dropped.
This Texas secondary has played a great football game. One of the big battles within this football game is going to be the Oklahoma wide receivers trying to win one-on-one matchups against the Texas secondary. Right now, advantage Texas on the perimeter.
3rd and 9. Diving attempt by Kenny, and it'll be 4th down, and the Sooners are forced to punt.
And what Texas is doing is they're defending the short throw, and this time Kenny actually does a good job of getting behind Aaron Williams. The ball is led downfield. I think Kenny has a chance to run underneath that. Texas trying to take away a lot of the short throws, the more high percentage passes by Landry Jones.
This is the 11th punt of this game. Jordan Shipley has had only 2 cracks at returning punts for a total of -3 yards. It came after it. Fair catch by Shipley back at the 22-yard line. So Colt McCoy and the Horns once again, we'll see if they can get anything going. They've had 141 yards of offense.
ESPN's college football on ABC. Brought to you by Pacific Life. For insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed. Dodge Ram, the truck that never backs down from a challenge. And Dr. Pepper, drink it slow, doctor's orders.
The State Fair of Texas and the deep fryers never quit, folks. While this is on whatever you want, they'll deep fry it for it, including butter. And
I was going to say, fried butter.
So there is Jeremy Beal. Herbie, he had 6 unassisted tackles in the first half. Austin English had a couple of sacks, and back they come with Whitaker, searching for that edge on the outside. Jackson quickly up to help number 44 on that running attempt. So Fozzie Whitaker is the active running back here for the Horns. They've been waiting, as you've said several times, they've been waiting for him to bust out.
Yeah, now that he's finally healthy, they feel that this could be a chance for him to break out. But, you know, Brent, I think mixing in Whitaker, the misdirection looks, I think it still comes back to Colt McCoy, ultimately not just throwing, but just enough of him running to keep the Oklahoma defense honest.
Come back with Whitaker, and he was tripped up. He'd had a big gain, but he was tripped up by Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds wearing number 4 a year ago in this game before he suffered the knee injury. He was wearing number 8, but he has gone back to his high school number that he wore back in his days in Las Vegas, hoping to change his luck. He's had 3 knee surgeries here in a couple of years. So it's 3rd down and 8. And it's McCoy again with the field spread. They rush only 3, and he fires against that for a first down that time, and that is Marquise Goodwin. Now, you talk about somebody with speed, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let this freshman get loose on you.
Well, there's the attention being paid to Shipley, the slot receiver. What it does is it occupies enough defenders that it opens up a nice passing lane right behind the linebacker, Travis Lewis. Good recognition that time by Colt McCoy, and he finds his freshman for a first down.
We're talking about a youngster from Garland, Texas, Marquise Goodwin. Long jumper, sprinter, he can do it all. Cody Johnson dashes out. Now, with more time, the last 2 times he's had the benefit of time to throw the ball, and so he picks out Johnson. That's the first time he's touched the ball here.
Yeah, it's there again. There's a little bit of rhythm. Here they are again with a fast snap.
Coming right back with it. First down at the 45-yard line. So there is their big short yardage back.
Here comes big Cody Johnson. How about the line that time, taking on those linebackers and dictating a little bit of an assertive attitude and pushing Travis Lewis and company for the first time.
And Lewis is down. Number 28, Travis Lewis, is down. So veteran offensive coordinator Greg Davis has decided we're going to run the ball. We're going to run right at this fierce front and see what we've got. And so far, it has been successful moderately here in the second half. But they did tie it up with that second field goal. And there is Greg upstairs in his 12th season with Mac.
He's thinking about when you run the football, it helps in so many different areas. Great to see Lewis up. But it helps you in so many different areas. It slows down the defensive line. It makes the linebackers aware of the running game. It makes the safeties have to take a peek and be aware of the running game. It sets up play action. And just there's so many different things you can do for Greg Davis with this offense. If he can just get a little bit from the running game, all of a sudden Colt McCoy is going to be back there with plenty of time to throw the football.
There are 3 seniors on this offensive line. Ulatowski, left tackle, Tanner's the left guard, and Hall He's the key man in the middle of that offensive line. There you see Ulatowski there, and Tanner, and Hall brings him up. John Childs, and now this is the Wild Horn, the version of the Wildcat. If you were watching the Miami Dolphins last Monday night, you had to say to yourself, you know, we're going to see more and more of this. This will be the direct snap, and they're going to bring Colt McCoy off the end around, try to buy some time. Nothing doing on that play, Herbie.
No, they're prepared very, very well. Actually, they put a lot of pressure on Colt McCoy that time. It wasn't as if he had time to be able to let the play develop. They were trying to catch them napping, thinking that Colt McCoy wouldn't be involved in the play. But of course, when the ball gets flipped back to him, the secondary has everybody covered downfield, and Colt fortunate to just be able to throw that ball away.
That is the 16th time that Colt McCoy has gone to the ground today. 2nd down and 10. The Sooners D determined not to let number 12 or number 8 beat them today. Comes back in underneath the good one, and that time the Sooners again were ready, and Quentin Carter, the junior from Las Vegas, did not let him get up to speed.
That's a great job by a safety way out on the edge. How about the closing speed right here? Gets around a potential block by Jordan Shipley. You can see Shipley frustrated with himself for not getting out there. Nice job, Quentin Carter, being a very physical and athletic safety, but being asked to cover the electrifying Goodwin on the outside.
3rd and 10. Goes a deep strike. Juggled, Buckner incomplete, and a penalty flag. Ibaloy, who had replaced one of the linebackers, was working on Buckner, the flex in.
Pass interference on the defense, number 5. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Again, this is a matchup that Colt McCoy will take. Buckner, who has great size at 6'4" and some good speed downfield, has what it takes to be able to make that play. And the reason I think the call comes through is if you don't turn around. There wasn't a lot of contact, but if you don't turn around, you almost look as if you're guilty. But there wasn't a lot of contact that time from Ibaloy.
There's Fozzie Whitaker. He's the running back for the Horns. Striking up the middle again for 9 yards. And let's go to Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
Brent, it has been more than 4 years since Ohio State lost a Big Ten road game, but they are up against it at Purdue. This is Terrell Pryor down to the 1, but they settled for a field goal here. The Buckeyes have turned it over 5 times and trail by 13.
Whitaker busts behind the right. And they've got a first down. They move the chains inside the 15-yard line. Coming back with the running play. Not much doing that time, and it will be 2nd down as Gerald McCoy jams the point of attack.
Biggest difference that I've seen outside of trying to run the football is a change in the attitude from Texas. As I said, it's the first time these first 2 series of the second half where they look like they want to attack Oklahoma. Their tempo is cranked up, and they have Oklahoma for the first time sitting back more as opposed to coming after Texas.
Cody Johnson, he'll block for him. Throw end zone. Shipley going up in the air. Incomplete. Jackson. Brian Jackson from DeSoto, Texas, a senior corner, was all over number 8.
Boy, Brian Jackson has been all over him most of this football game. Shipley ends up again catching the football, but it's because Brian Jackson is able to be physical at 6'1", 200-pound boundary corner, winning the battle between he and Jordan Shipley throughout this football game. He just bodied him to the boundary, and Colt had nowhere to go.
Whitaker checks in, but he is split to the right. Texas will spread the field on 3rd and 10. Fires back inside on the slant. Touchdown, Goodwin. The freshman with the first touchdown carries it over the end zone. a spark Goodwin has given this team. With the injured Sam Bradford watching from the OU sideline, our first touchdown of the game. So the adjustments by Greg Davis and Mac Brown at halftime. The insertion of the freshman. And Hunter Lawrence tacks on the extra point. And now heats on Landry Jones as you're watching ESPN on ABC. Well, Texas trailed in this game 6-0. So 13 unanswered points. And this half they've had a field goal and then the game's first touchdown as Marquise Goodwin, the speedster, with his first touchdown ever as a Longhorn. And you're going to be seeing a lot of 84 down the road. Fielded at the 4 by Madu. Moses breaks a tackle. It's out to the 32. Herbie, take us back to that score.
A great job, Brent, by Colt McCoy. He's got 5 offensive linemen here to be able to block. Here's the blitz off of the edge. What it does is it frees up one-on-one coverage. Here's Jordan Shipley, who's going to get to the inside, and it leaves it all alone for the young freshman to go one-on-one and make the play. Colt McCoy makes the play by getting rid of the ball. 6 defenders came. He had 5 offensive linemen to block. He knows that he's got to be able to account for Travis Lewis. He gets rid of the ball quickly, and a great job by the freshman Goodwin of fighting off the potential tackle by Carter to take it in.
Now the redshirt freshman, number 12, Landry Jones, completes it to the outside to DeMarco Murray, and wrestling down is Earl Thomas, the sophomore from Orange, Texas, who's becoming an outstanding safety for Will Muschamp.
And for the first time the entire football game, Oklahoma now trailing in the game. The momentum has changed. The body language has changed on the field. Texas has the advantage now. Now it's up to Jones to try to counter and answer.
2nd down and 7. Jones will take off. There's a penalty flag thrown by the referee.
Holding on the offense, number 61. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So Hayburn, the center, is guilty. Let's check in with Lisa.
Well, guys, good news for Texas. As you can see, defensive end number 33, Lamar Houston, back out on the field after that injury. They were working on his right knee, took him back into the locker room and put a brace on him. Now he's back out there. Guys.
Thanks, Lisa. 2nd down and 17. So the senior from Colorado Springs back on the field for the Horns. Sergio Kendall moving around. Try to get in from outside right, and Tennell picks up the first down.
It's Tennell's 2nd catch on the day, and it's a good job by Oklahoma attacking the seams and going after Texas, who has their safeties up close to the line of scrimmage. Aaron Williams that time involved in the tackle. You can see he's fortunate to be able to get involved here right there from behind to help slow down to get Shockey Brown enough time to make that tackle. But Tennell close to
he's down,
getting away
Herbie.
from that.
That's
yep.
So I mean, the walking wounded on the Oklahoma sideline is just unbelievable. Starting with their Heisman Trophy winner, who the 2nd series of the game, played only 2 series, went down hard on that injured shoulder, and he's done for the day. And we can only hope that he's not done for the season. One thing that people forget, and I had to be reminded about Sam Bradford, he is only a junior. Because there was all that discussion about him coming out last year when he still could have, because he was a redshirt sophomore. Now he's a redshirt junior. He still does have another year of eligibility left. Now McCoy, on the other hand, is a senior. Great protection. Wide open, incomplete. Caleb. And Thomas was closing fast, but Caleb with daylight that time. They turned him loose.
Absolutely great read here by Jones. He's reading the corner to the top. Brown comes up on Broyles, and he's got a nice little window there to the outside. That's one that Caleb would love to have back.
Now on second down, and inbounds is Kenny with the grab near midfield. And there's a penalty flag down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. And the defense number 91, 15 yards added to the end of the play. First down.
We've seen a lot of these called today, Brent. I mean, from the very early part of this football game. What are they thinking here? I know it's a rivalry game.
That was
wow.
Keyston Randall, sophomore from Beaumont.
Are you kidding me?
Texas, ripping him down a little bit late.
Ripping is a...
So we've had, Herbie, it looks like about 15 penalties and about 158 yards so far in this game. First down and 10 for Landry Jones. Up in that pistol directly in front of the tailback. That's Brown. Brown picks up a yard. So if we take a look at the nightmare that the Heisman Trophy winner has experienced, leaving that game, third-degree AC joint strain, returning to practice, came back last week, threw the ball almost 50 times, and then today leaves again after 8 plays. Second down and 10. Broyles slips a tackle, wide open down the sideline, end zone, dashes in, touchdown, OU. The go-to man, Ryan Broyles, coming off a shoulder injury, takes it 35 yards for the Sooners. Jimmy Stevens, this could tie.
This is a pressure from Oklahoma. Broyles is right here. He's going to come out to the flat. But what I want you to watch is the effort over here by Brandon Caleb with the effort to block. You can see it just throws it out to the flat, makes the catch, slips the defender, and look at Caleb in front of him. Picks up a little chip block there, still hustling downfield to help out. Great effort there by Caleb. But again, it began with Broyles against the pressure from Texas. He slips off Aaron Williams, and then he gets downfield. And that's what everybody wanted to know all week. Would Broyles be healthy enough to make a difference in this game? And that's the first chance he's had that opportunity.
I told you we'd have a shootout.
And now here we go. Here we go. Greg Davis and Kevin Wilson, the two offensive coordinators, doing a great job of making adjustments at halftime to give their offense some confidence. That's part of the battle, just getting your guys to believe after a first half like that you can go out there and make plays.
Top of the hour, 2 o'clock here in Dallas. In case you just joined us, it has been a fierce defensive struggle. Our only touchdowns have come here in the third quarter. And Heisman Trophy winner Sam Bradford has been sidelined. He re-injured that right shoulder of his. So a short kickoff, run up to the 10-yard line, and DJ Monroe, he'll be run out of bounds. So a reminder, we've still got plenty of regional action coming your way a little bit later today. There are the games, and 44% of the country will get Minnesota and Penn State. Big Ten battle, the 14th ranked Nittany Lions, and they're keeping a close eye on Ohio State as Iowa goes to 7-0 today, beating Wisconsin 20-10. So the Hawkeyes continue to drive.
And nobody wants to buy in. I think Kirk Ferentz is using that to get his team fired up. That's a huge win today for the Hawkeyes.
Nation's second longest winning streak. And how many folks really know it? Now Colt McCoy got time, comes down the sideline, comes back to the youngster out of bounds. How about this freshman suddenly? He scored the Horns touchdown. Now they probe deep, but he's out of bounds on this one. And Herbie, what's impressive, this is not a track man. This is a football player happens to be able to run.
I remember you and I were to practice a few weeks ago, and we were getting ready for Texas Tech. Watching him in practice, I was blown away with how much of a football player he is with track speed. He can catch the football, great instincts as a receiver, but being able to beat Oklahoma's defense on the outside, important to opening up the rest of this offense for Colt McCoy.
2nd down and 10 for McCoy. Here's Shipley, the roommate, reaching out toward the first down, and Frank's tackling him as we check in with Lisa.
Brent, you were talking about Ryan Broyles and that shoulder injury. He's actually playing with a hairline fracture in his right shoulder blade.
Yeah, that's remarkable, and Reynolds just comes busting across on Fozzie Whitaker. And if you just joined us, that's the kind of defense we've had all day long.
Right in the middle of the defense. The guard is not able, David Snow, not able to get up to Reynolds. And Oklahoma, in those 3rd down situations, been stepping up time after time today.
Justin Tucker. Franks lets this one go on into the end zone. And we check in with Matt Weiner in New York.
All right, Brent, Terrell Pryor is not having a good day for Ohio State. He's turned it over 4 times, but here he is leading the comeback under duress. Look at him just heave this up. DeVere Posey comes down with it. The Buckeyes get the 2-point conversion. They have cut Purdue's lead to 8.
About 7 minutes, it looks like, left in that one. And here we're 3:17 left in the 3rd quarter as you look down on this grand scene. If you like to visit different venues and see different college football games, this is on your must-do list. Peyton Manning is here, and he said for me to remind everybody that the Tennessee Volunteers are also off, as his Indianapolis Colts have a bye week, and that's why he came to see this game. Landry Jones hands it off to DeMarco, and he's run out of bounds after picking up a yard on the play.
Like a late flag may have come in there. I don't know if it was a holding call. You could see it all the way over near the boundary there by the Oklahoma Sooner coaching staff.
Holding on the offense, number 34. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Matt Clapp got caught there.
There's a pretty good one, huh? I'll tell you. Young man stayed at Tennessee for 4 years. Got his degree, didn't leave early, and I'll tell you, Chris Fowler's taking notes there.
He looks very serious. With our college game day producer Lee Fitting getting very serious here.
3 minutes now left here in the 3rd. He's got protection. Overthrows the middleman. Attacked the middle of the field. He had good time that time.
He did, and again, I think Texas, what they're trying to do is keep everything in front of them, and they're starting to close in towards the line of scrimmage. And what Kevin Wilson is trying to do to try to counter that is getting the ball thrown more downfield and trying to find the seams. That time he just had to throw that football away. Good coverage.
Underneath on 2nd down and 20, and there's another penalty flag as Ratteree, young man who's playing a lot of tight end today, with Eldridge switching back into the offensive line in the middle of things.
It's the chop block.
Personal foul, chop block on the offense, number 76. Penalties declined. 3rd down.
That was Jarvis Jones who was guilty, but wasn't much of a gain, so this is going to bring up a long 3rd down.
Let's see if Will Muschamp decides to dial up some pressure, or if he's going to sit back with 7 or 8 guys in coverage. Make the young freshman have to read the defense, and sometimes that's tougher than anything for a freshman to have to deal with, reading all those burnt orange jerseys.
Under pressure, sacked at the 7-yard line. Eddie Jones, who's played a lot for Muschamp today, makes the tackle.
Well, Muschamp fired up because he's getting pressure from 4. He brings Eddie Jones into this game. This is the speed. This is where they feel that they had an advantage coming in today, is getting after Oklahoma's offensive line. But that time, give Jones credit because he went around the All-American Trent Williams from the left side.
Way back to punt for the 6th time, and Jordan Shipley standing back in midfield, and here comes the rush on the punter, gets it off. Fair catch by Shipley at the 46-yard line. The entire world blacked out. Everyone saw a vision of the future. Now the race is on to discover why. Most talked about new drama of the season. ABC's Flash Forward, all new Thursday on ABC at 8, 7 Central.
Here we go. Great field position for Texas. Tie game. See if they can capitalize on this opportunity here.
McCoy off the fake, looking to throw it on 1st down. Can't find an open receiver, still dancing. Throws it away.
2 things about that play that stood out. Great coverage, number 1, by Oklahoma's secondary. Colt McCoy didn't have anything to do there but to try to buy some time. But how about the initial protection? It's like watching 2 different games from the 1st half to the 2nd half. The 1st half, every time Colt McCoy dropped back to throw, almost by the time he took the snap in the shotgun, there was penetration. Now in the 2nd half, we're seeing this offensive line, because of the play calling, start to settle down and take a little bit more control.
Colt takes off. He saw the linebacker step up on his right and took off to the hole to the left.
And he also followed Whitaker here, who just does enough to get into the way, just right there, enough to get into the way of Travis Lewis to give him a little bit more of an opportunity to pick up another 4 or 5 yards.
Cody Johnson, the big back, checks in, and there's a problem getting the tight end set, and finally Smith does. Now Buckner comes off late. Still plenty of time on 3rd and 1. McCoy keeps it himself. So here is the offensive line, who has been under fire, especially in the 1st half, but they've sprung to life a little bit. Snow and Huey have worked at right guard, and there you see how many starts they have, and Huey is out there right now. Ulatowski, the left tackle, 3 seniors. Hall, Tanner, and Ulatowski. Using Johnson. Johnson powers his way toward the 1st down marker.
How about some nifty footwork here by Cody Johnson? That's what he's known for. He's dropped his weight. He's in better playing shape from when he was in camp, but just a little bit of a stutter step, and then he gets downfield, and then he doesn't give up. See how he keeps moving those feet, and then he almost gets in a position to pick up a 1st down. That's how you slow down Oklahoma's pass rush, runs like that from Cody Johnson.
So we'll head to the final quarter, tied at 13. The Red River rivalry. We got some 92,000 on hand and nobody leaving. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Well, there's the prize that everyone is searching for, the Coach's Trophy, presented by Dr. Pepper, to be awarded at the 2010 City BCS National Championship game. Johnson this time does pick up the 1st down. Cody Johnson's a sophomore, Herbie, from Waller, Texas.
I really like the action that he brings into this offense. What a difference compared to the speed of Fozzie Whitaker. When you bring in Cody Johnson, boy, he is lowering his pads and running right into that Oklahoma defensive line, and the line is going the other way.
Yeah, young Goodwin is out there one-on-one to the top of your screen. 1st and 10 and the whistle. They're saying that it was a false start. Beal jumping across, but says he was pulled.
Number 83, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Tight end Smith. Yeah, we've talked about young Goodwin, number 84, who scored their touchdown. And back in high school, he set the national high school record in the long jump. That young man who's off to one of the receivers right here, he's gone 26-10. All right, 7-time Texas 5A state champion in the long jump. Looking, comes back sideline, diving attempt, and he's got it. There he is, young Mr. Goodwin, growing up right before your eyes.
This is a great effort here and a great throw by Colt McCoy, who anticipates this and makes the throw well before Goodwin is coming out of his break. Well, like you said earlier, Brent, this is not a track guy learning how to catch a football. He has a pretty good feel for things. And I think even if they take another look at this, I thought he got his hand underneath the point of the ball. Didn't it look like it?
It did. It looked like the hand was right underneath the point of it.
Just to put in perspective those numbers you just read about his long jump, the next Olympics, he'll be the favorite to be the lead man to represent the United States in the Olympics.
And Herbie, you know, he won the Big 12 championship in that event since coming into Texas. And obviously, when you can long jump like that, you're just a great sprinter. And he was on the 4x100 relay team down there. Just amazing. He's gone the 100 meters in 10:2:4. Now, Usain Bolt might be able to beat him a little bit, folks, but he'd be in the picture.
Yeah, and the rest of the galaxy.
Take a look at this.
The effort here is tremendous, and a great look, in my opinion, of the way he gets his hand underneath the football, and he actually is in bounds there. That's the other question, is he in bounds? I think his hands are in bounds as he makes that catch.
By the way, do you think Usain Bolt can catch the ball?
I'd be willing to give it a try.
Ruling on the field stands is called as a completed catch.
What a great catch.
Great effort and a great catch by Goodwin. Yeah, what is it, 6'4", 6'4", or 6'5"?
Yeah, he's huge. When he gets up to speed, it's unbelievable with that stride of his. Well, here we go now. Goodman, one of the wide receivers. 2nd down and 4. Tied at 13. Inside of 14 minutes.
By the way, when other receivers start to make catches, you start to get back to the old reliable Jordan Shipley, who gets left one-on-one more.
And here's Whitaker. And he is brought down immediately by Austin English. English also had a big game. English, McCoy, Taylor, and Beal. Tough front to block.
One of the more athletic and experienced fronts in the country. McCoy is a great player. Has probably the quickest first step of any interior defensive lineman in college football. But this sprint, at this point in the game, this is as big as it gets for a 3rd down in this football game.
Fires. Kirkendall, and it's going to be close. Short, it looks like. Proctor coming up to make the stop, and of course, if it is short, Hunter Lawrence will come on for the field goal, and that's exactly what's happening.
Well, the pressure was coming again from the linebackers, and Sam Proctor, who was left one-on-one against Kirkendall, had to make that tackle in the open field. And by stepping up and making that play, of course, he now forces his field goal attempt. But that was a good job in the open field by Proctor.
Oklahoma has to be conscious of a fake with Shipley. It's a 4th and 2. He'll hold it. And Hunter Lawrence with a 32-yarder puts Texas back ahead. 16-13 here in the 4th quarter. Timeout. MetLife is providing today's aerial coverage of the Cotton Bowl and the State Fair of Texas. Visit MetLife.com to learn more about MetLife's long history of providing coverage at major sporting events. 16-13. Texas has taken the lead. You know, we came here, Herbie, expecting a shootout with 2 returning O'Brien watch list candidates for that quarterback award, and instead it's been a defensive struggle here today.
The 6-3 halftime score. I think we all anticipated much of the same in the second half, but we have seen some adjustments, and 20 points combined here in the second half so far.
High kickoff, fielded at the 5 by Madu again. Run out of bounds at the 20, and Matt Weiner, what happened with Ohio State in that comeback against Purdue?
Well, the comeback is over at Purdue. Terrell Pryor responsible for 4 of the Buckeyes' 5 turnovers on the day. On 4th and 14, just heaves it up, nothing doing, and Purdue wins it. The Buckeyes suffer their first road loss in the Big Ten since October 2005. Iowa is the only unbeaten left in the Big Ten.
Hawkeyes now in the driver's seat, very surprised by the lack of development. A young Terrell Pryor at this point in his 2nd year as a starter.
Now it is up to Landry Jones here, Herbie, with 12 minutes to go, trailing by the field goal. Flares to Brown for a first down on that sideline, and he broke a tackle and picked up a few more before Curtis Brown was able to bring him down.
This is a great job and a simple throw by Jones. Actually, Cameron Kinney takes Curtis Brown to the inside, and when he followed him to the inside as a cornerback, boy, there was a nice little lane to the outside for big yards.
Firing sideline incomplete, and it'll be a 2nd down. You know, Herbie, coming into this game, and I'm thinking now about the Texas offense, even though they're not on the field. Shipley had caught at least 10 passes in the last 2 games. They've shut him down, held him to 4, but up pops the freshman. They take the cellophane off Goodwin, and he's been a difference maker here today.
Yeah, they've had a hard time getting Shipley the ball, but you're right. Different playmakers here in the second half. Cody Johnson's been nice. Fozzie Whitaker taking some of the pressure off. Other players are making plays besides Shipley.
2nd down and 10. Flashes that wide screen. There's the penalty flag. DeMarco Murray was out wide, the running back, trying to get the ball back in his hands. He had 100 yards receiving in the first half.
Got to get Broyles here for a holding call.
On the offense, number 85, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Aaron Williams, defensive back, looked like he might have a chance to actually make the tackle here. Keep an eye on Broyles right in the middle, how he locks up on number 4 there. You know, DeMarco Murray, since he went down with that injury, just doesn't seem to have the same spring in his legs that he had at the beginning of this football game. You applaud him for his effort to continue to play, but it just doesn't seem to be the same threat when he touches the football.
2nd and 20. Getting that flare to the outside, nothing doing for Brown. He's brought down by Keenan Robinson, the linebacker.
Well, Texas has been playing so much man-to-man coverage, this time sitting back in zone. See it right here. Here's a great look at Robinson closing in the open field, having to discipline. Good technique there. That's a tough man to bring down in the open field, and that time he makes the play.
Third and 20. Brown on the middle screen. Can he get the first down? Rolls toward it, but he'll be marked down close to the 50.
This is where Bob Stoops usually is aggressive. This will be an interesting call for him coming up short.
Just a little short.
I love the call by Kevin Wilson here on 3rd down and forever. You're thinking there's no way they're going to pick up a first down. They get it to Chris Brown, and nobody wanted to kind of close in on him to take it away.
Herbie, it looks like they're going. They're not even going to bring the kicking team out unless he's going to go to a hard count here and see if somebody jumps across on 4th and 1. Brown and trying to pick it up. There's the line judge coming down on the other side.
He's short based on that spot at the top.
They will, I'm sure, bring the chains out on this. This is very close.
Can you and I just say before whether he made it or not, I personally, I know it's been a close game, applaud Bob Stoops for staying true to who he is, the aggressiveness, and whether he makes it or not, that's it. Again, much like the Miami game from a few weeks ago. He went for it, got to take the chance. But it's short.
Texas football.
when he makes these risky decisions like this at midfield. Will Muschamp's bunch stepped up there. When he makes it, takes a chance like that, he knows that now it's on his defense. This is the point in the game where you're going to define the outcome. Can the defense come up and make a stop now after that risk that Bob Stoops just made?
Injured Bradford trying to bring some sideline leadership over there with a 1st down and 10, and the OU defense back on the field. Oklahoma trails by 3 inside of 10 minutes. Coming back is McCoy. So the running game here in the second half has been the difference in the game so far, and there's a penalty flag down.
Chop block on the offense, number 71, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Seen a few of those personal foul chop block calls. Chris Hall that time guilty. That is a big penalty. Takes them way back. In that area, when there's another offensive lineman engaged like this, you cannot just dive at the legs or trying to protect the defensive lineman's knees.
1st down and 25. Goodwin's back on the field. McCoy throws it to him, and this time he could not make the grab as we check in with Matt Weiner.
Hi, Brent. Well, you and Kirk are running a little long there at the fairgrounds. Not to worry, the network will adjust for you. And for viewers tuning in to see one of these games, this is where you can find them, at least from kickoff on. Don't worry, when Texas and Oklahoma wrap up, your game will come back to ABC. Guys?
All right, Matt, thank you. 2nd and 25 here. We still have almost 9.5 minutes to go. Now they tried to set a little bit of a screen in the middle, and that was Whitaker who could not shake Mr. Beal. Not many players do. We've talked about the Nagurski, and there must be a half-dozen candidates on these two teams. Beal's one of them. Lewis, McCoy. They would all be considered the top defensive player of the season.
And they've all added to their highlight reels today, haven't they? The way every one of these candidates have played.
Kendall, McElroy, Thomas over there for the Horns. Great defensive performances here. 3rd down and 24.
Don't want to do anything careless here if you're Colt McCoy.
He just flares it off. Take a few yards and then bring the punt team back out.
So for the people back in Norman that like to call the call-in shows after the game and complain about things, make note that the risk that Bob Stoops took did not, at this time, did not backfire on it. The defense steps up, they force the punt, and they get the football back.
Franks is back deep to return that punt. Stoops stays on top of the special teams. Let's see if they come after Justin Tucker this time. It's a very good punt. And Franks will not pick it up. He mishandled one on the bounce earlier in the game, but this one rolls dead inside the 10-yard line. Got a timeout in Dallas.
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by Nissan Maxima, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy. ING, your number. Find it at ingyournumber.com. And the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
In a game that has featured a little bit of everything. We've had several delays, long ones for instant replay. Now Landry Jones and the Sooners take over inside the 10-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and 10. And Murray is busted. I mean, Keenan Robinson over there made sure he went to the ground.
Keenan Robinson has really stepped up here last couple series, not only making plays but imposing his will on Oklahoma when he gets a chance. It's a nice play by the sophomore. If nothing else, just sending a message to DeMarco Murray.
Look how tightly bunched the offense is. Don't dare spread the field here against this defense. Throw in underneath. That is Rattery, Trent Rattery.
Really have a lot of appreciation for what Landry Jones has been asked to do to step up in this game. The game experience that he's received when Bradford went down against BYU has helped him to get some experience. He has played against Miami, but it's a different deal in Dallas today. And I think he has stepped up in a very difficult situation and played well.
Intercepted, picked off at the 21-yard line. A spectacular interception by Aaron Williams as Landry Jones, but there is a penalty flag. It's against declined. It is Texas football. Landry Jones was trying to dump it out of bounds, Herbie, and Aaron Williams went airborne.
Just when you compliment the young man, how many times do you see this happen? He breaks contain, Kendall goes to the inside, but great effort by Lamar Houston, but unbelievable the way Aaron Williams climbs the ladder. Brent, you're right on it. I think he thinks he's just throwing this thing away, but how about number 4 with about a 40-inch vertical to go up and intercept that? And they love to play for Will Muschamp.
Knocking on the door again, leading by 3. And they squirt young Whitaker through. There is Williams, made that leaping interception. That's the first turnover here in the second half. We had 5 fumble turnovers in the first half. This is the first interception of the game, and it is 2nd down and 8. Reynolds, number 4. Whitaker trying to get the edge close to the 10-yard line with Jonathan Nelson, who's come on to play quite a bit here today, making the stop for the Sooners.
It's a nice designed counter here to make it look going like it's to the left on a zone read, but he's got 2 of his offensive linemen pulling around to lead the way. But there's that burst again by Fozzie Whitaker getting to the edge, and when it looked like it might be a short gain, he actually gets to the corner and puts them in at least a very 3rd and short type of situation here.
Goodwin comes on and Childs is replaced, so number 84, the speedster. But it is 3rd and 2. They go empty in the backfield. Intercepted. Picked off by Brian Jackson. The Sooners get it back. And McCoy comes over, but that is his 7th interception of the season. A very unusual statistic for Colt McCoy.
What a great answer here by the Oklahoma defense, and that's just a misfire here. Colt McCoy and the young freshman who we've been complimenting so much, Marquise Goodwin. You got to wonder on that time if that should have been a route adjustment based on that coverage, because Colt, as a 4-year senior starter, puts the ball where he thinks the freshman might be, and he throws it right into the hands of Brian Jackson.
Now Landry Jones brings the Sooners back out with 6 minutes to go. Play fake by Landry. DeMarco Murray, the underneath receiver, to the 34-yard line on 1st down. There is Jackson, did the job. Nelson has been forced to play here today because of an injury in the secondary.
But the confidence that Kevin Wilson shows in young Landry Jones after the interception in his own territory, comes right back. Another chance to put the ball in his hands and throw the football there to the outside.
Changing it up for the offensive lineman, making sure that they get the read. There's DeMarco Murray behind a couple of wideouts. They flare to the left, but it's still short of the 1st down. And Thomas in on still another play for the Horns.
Thomas very fortunate that he did not get a late call there for a personal foul. Murray was close to the boundary fighting there with Aaron Williams, and Thomas comes in there a little bit late and uses his headgear. A lot of times when you lead with your headgear like that, it can be a penalty.
Samacho checks into the defensive line. 3rd down and 5. And DeMarco Murray made the catch, but he appears to be short of the 1st down. That was Shockey Brown defending it.
I think Texas had a lot of confusion that time with their linebackers. See, running off, trying to make adjustments with hand signals, and you're going to see Keenan Robinson from the right coming way over to the left, and that's exactly where Jones throws it. If he would have looked maybe downfield, he may have caught Texas out of position.
And it looks like Stoops is going to go again. Landry may keep it and go straight ahead. And there's a timeout. Oklahoma. You got 4:27 to go. It is a very short yard. We'll see what the coaches decide. 4:27 to go. Kirk Herbstreit and Lisa Salters, I hope you've enjoyed this one as much as we have. 4:27 to go. 4th and very short. And now Kevin Wilson, after taking a look at Muschamp's defense, adjusts the call. They've shaded a tackle right on the nose. Landry keeps it himself for the 1st down.
So that's Bob Stoops. See how his team feeds off of that attitude and willingness to take chances and show confidence in his players that he feels that they're going to be able to come up and execute. Watch the reaction from Bob Stoops after they pick up this 1st down. Yes, sir. Let's get up in here. Let's go.
Old Hawkeye. His alma mater's doing pretty good. Still unbeaten. Back.
There's a play right there by Sergio Kendall that a lot of times gets overlooked by people that look at his stats at the end of a game or end of the season, and they'll say, you know, why doesn't he have more sacks? Just by him getting penetration there, forced Murray to cut back into the teeth of the defense.
Intercepted. Earl Thomas, number 12.
Here's an example of Landry Jones. As much as he still looks like he's under control, he's still a freshman. Doesn't see Earl Thomas, the most talented defensive back on the Texas roster, shadowing Broyles for the easy interception.
The Horns are in charge now.
Hi, everyone. Matt Weiner in New York with a check of the primetime pulse on ESPN right now. Minnesota and Penn State. Texas Tech has the lead at Nebraska early on ESPN2. And California likewise leads UCLA. That one on ESPN Classic.
Thank you very much. Here, of course, Texas leads Oklahoma 16-13. They have the ball back. OU on his last 3 possessions. They lost the ball on downs and then interception. Now 1st down and 10 for McCoy. And he hands it off to the big back, and pounding in there is Cody Johnson, not yielding. Our Pacific Life game summary here, Harvey.
There's a big play there by Cody Johnson, but you look at this football game and some of the stats that stand out to me, of course, at the bottom, the 5 turnovers for Oklahoma. We said all throughout this football game, the last 4 years, the team that has won the turnover battle has won the football game, and it's tough to win a game, especially a rivalry game, when you have 5 turnovers. And also, Texas has done a nice job of making adjustments and getting their offense back in a bit more of a flow.
As we look down on this scene, 3-point game, 3:21 to go. We look ahead, Hervey, with the first BCS rankings out, and I certainly can't speak for the computers, but what do you think the coaches and the Harris pollsters will think of somebody winning a tough defensive game? I'm thinking whether or not Texas or Alabama might be too if Bama wins tonight.
I think that what Alabama does tonight will probably go a long way. And remember now, in the Harris poll and with the coaches, you still have Texas up there at 2.
True.
So I think Texas, if they're able to get out of this game with a victory, you have to have an appreciation for this being a rivalry game, neutral field, 2 great defenses. Texas still not flexing its muscles consistently for 4 quarters on offense. And I think that's the one thing you could say about them if you were trying to make a case for Alabama or Florida.
McCoy keeps it on 2nd down and 5. Right straight ahead.
One thing about the BCS standings that I think is, if it continues to be Florida and Alabama and Texas, let's just say Florida and Alabama, one of them's going to eliminate the other. It almost doesn't matter if it's a three-way argument between Florida, Alabama, and Texas. If Texas wins out, they get through this game and they continue to win games, they're going to play the winner of the game in Atlanta between Florida and Alabama.
Here may be the most telling stat of this game. Colt McCoy has been on the ground 17 times, okay? 13 of them, or 14 of them came in the first half.
Absolutely.
All right, that means they're doing a much better job of keeping this defense off balance here in the second half.
Running the football enough, mixing up the play calling, allowed them to take control of the line of scrimmage back.
Let's send it to Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brent, let's get a check of our AT&T All-America Player of the Week update. You think Pittsburgh's Dion Lewis is sore today? Carried the ball 31 times last night for 180 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And the Panthers win in Piscataway against Rutgers. Text VOTE to 345-345 from your mobile phone. You could win a trip to the national championship.
That's one of the best freshman running backs I've seen this year. And if you look down the road, Pittsburgh in the battle for a Big East title, and they've got a big home game coming up early November against Notre Dame. And so Dion Lewis, all eyes will start to be on him now.
Yeah, you're right about that. One thing about this game, 3rd and 5, Oklahoma. Remember we talked about how they had to use 2 timeouts when their offense had a little bit of confusion. Bob Stoops called both those timeouts from the sideline earlier in this second half. Now they're out of timeouts. And with it being 3rd and 5, if Texas picks up a first down, Oklahoma cannot stop the clock.
Colt's going to keep it and run for the first down. Slides safely into the 48-yard line, and they'll move the chains. 2.5 minutes.
That's a design play and a good job of blocking up front. That time Charlie Tanner leads the way and picks up a block on Lewis. Design run all the way, and now Texas will take all the time that they need to chew up the remaining 2 minutes in this football game.
Mack Brown, they have won 3 of the last 4 games. And there's a telling stat right there, how many 3-point close games that Mack Brown has been involved in, and they've won 14 of their last 15, the Horns have. And now they keep the ball on the ground, start to work on that clock. There's a penalty flag thrown on that play.
On the offense, number 78, 10-yard penalty, first down.
I could argue all day with folks about how Bob Stoops has gone from being recognized as big game Bob to struggling mightily in BCS bowl games and against Texas. It's one thing to think about how they played against Florida in the national championship last year. It's one thing when you don't show up. It's another thing when you're battling like this with a great defense and an offense that's depleted through injuries, and you try to make a game of it.
I agree.
You know, this is not where, well, Bob Stoops didn't get his team ready to play. He can't coach in a big game. Kidding me?
Here's McCoy keeping the clock moving. The Texas fans, or half of our 92,000 crowd, wanted a penalty on that. You know that during Mack Brown's reign in Austin, Herbie, the Longhorns have set 215 school records. 215 now.
Are there any left?
I don't think so.
He's cleared the deck.
He'd like to have that second national championship. You know, Darrell Royal tacked the second one up there. And
he's got a great shot this year if this team can keep improving offensively. Got a defense to keep him in every game.
They go to Missouri
next
week to play the Tigers on the road. Oklahoma will be up in Lawrence. They'll be playing Kansas. 3rd down and 9. And I believe the Horns are going to use a timeout here. Bringing the clock down, and it looks like they're going to do it again. They've come to the land of the Fletcher Corny Dogs and about to go home with another W, their 10th consecutive win. That's what's coming up next. Regional coverage. North Carolina State, Boston College, Minnesota, Penn State, Texas Tech, Nebraska, California, UCLA. So this will be 10 straight for Texas. And today, Iowa has already won 11 consecutive games. Florida with the nation's longest winning streak at 15. And there is a trophy awarded here, folks. We don't talk about it a whole lot, but it is called the Golden Hat, okay? Once upon a time, it was bronze, so it was the bronze hat trophy. But then they wanted to refinish it, and it came back and they said, it doesn't look bronze anymore, it looks golden. So the winner will take the Golden Hat trophy. In fact, this time it'll stay in Austin.
Yeah, we had a shot of that hat on game day this morning in the Texas locker room. Serious business, that hat.
And you know, there's a very good recruit watching this game here today. Defensive end Jackson Jeffcoat from Plano. He's a son of the former Cowboy star Jim Jeffcoat. He's thinking of both these great schools. Oh yes, his daddy's a defensive line coach at Houston. So I talked to the coaches before the game, and they said, you know, Houston's very much in the running. And here comes the flag.
I guess they're going to call this on Beal.
Little frustration, was there?
Yeah, I mean, Colt McCoy wasn't trying to go anywhere. Colt McCoy is just trying to eat up clock and then eventually slide and take a knee. Beal come from the backside, closing in on Colt right here. Little acting there by Colt McCoy.
We've had 215 yards of penalties here today, and there it is. The old Golden Hat. Muschamp already celebrating with his defense. Mac Brown about to take another victory home against Bob Stoops. And the woe for Oklahoma is Sam Bradford goes out again.
And how about a look at Sam? Colt McCoy 4 times having a chance to start against Oklahoma and finishing with a 3-1 record. It's pretty impressive.
Another chapter in a fierce rivalry. One of the best in all of college football. The Sooners lose their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. The defensive players, especially at OU, they played their hearts out today. Colt McCoy was under the gun against that defense. There he is searching out Sam Bradford. They have become friends when they traveled on the circuit last December. As soon as Bradford was hurt that first time, it was Colt McCoy who texted him that night, wished him very the best to hang in there, and I'm sure he's doing it again. And Colt McCoy and the Longhorns are victorious. Let's ship it down to Lisa.
Thanks, Brent. Colt, I know you're good friends with Oklahoma quarterback Sam Bradford. What did you just say to him?
I just told him that I was praying for him. You know, I hate it for him. He's such a competitor, great friend. But this is awesome. You know, I thank God for the opportunity to play in this game for 4 years. I've been sick all week.